Okay, here we are again. Oh, back at it. 2 weeks down, 1 to go before my summer job rotation is over. And I have a small little chunk of money in my account to keep me afloat so I don't go into debt from groceries alone. Oh boy. Hang on, let me get my wristband on. I think with how many times I'm pulling the Velcro that I've got like multiple seals on it. There's only 2 little things to hold it on your wrist. It's just they are old, as I think I've said before, and they tend to fall off easily. There we go. Let's see. Who's here? Ah, James the Catboy. Hello, welcome back. Yeah, it's been a minute. That's okay. We've moved ahead a couple of games, I think, since the last time you were here. To a new RPG that we started a couple of weeks ago, but because my work schedule is busy, I have not been able to play this game except on the weekends. And today is Saturday, so therefore, well, we can play a little more of it. So that's the plan. Random question, thoughts on Undertale and Deltarune. So Deltarune's easy because I've never played it. I don't know, it just never really was one that appealed to me personally. I mean, Toby Fox, he makes really good music. I've just never really gotten that, like, the urge to play Deltarune. I did play Undertale through to completion once. Well, I don't know if completion is right, actually, because I never did the genocide route. I did the normal route and then the pacifist route, which gets you the true ending, and then I never did the genocide route. So, but I've only played Undertale once, and I've never played Deltarune. I thought Undertale was pretty alright. There wasn't really, like... The music obviously was really good, so I guess that was the standout for me, but everything else was kind of like, yeah, this is fine, you know? So, keep it that way? Okay, fair enough. I get the feeling there's some animosity under that, but oh, as in don't do the genocide route. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I get the feeling there's some animosity under that, but if you're talking about the genocide route, then yeah, that makes sense because I've been told after I said, now you know what, I kind of liked the idea of playing the game at level 1. It was more challenging anyway, and also it was kind of mean of me to just wander in and kill everything. So I kind of didn't. I was like, I don't really feel any need to just slaughter everything, you know? And so then I was told much later that the genocide route was not fun. To put a blunt tick on it, I guess. Not fun. Speaking of genocide... Okay, I don't think it qualifies as genocide since I was mostly just doing a training arc, and also since I was basically inflicting 0 damage on the vast majority of the enemies that I fought since the last time. But I fought about 25 battles in the interim since the last stream. Got a few job levels out of it. Lunith is no longer minied, although I have plenty of mallets with which to do that again if I so choose. And we have gained, as you may expect, a few job levels. Excuse me, which will only help us because this is the part of the game where things start to get really interesting. Before this, it was fine, you know, I enjoyed the game well enough, but after this point is when the mechanics really start kicking in, and as you may know if you've been here before, that's where I really start to get into things. So it took a lot of willpower to not just be like, I'm going to stream this during the week, even though I'm dead tired from work. So I did not do that, but the urge was strong. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Final Fantasy III, the stream edition. Last time, we did a lot last time. We got through the Tower of Owen. Dash sacrificed himself so that the floating continent would not become the less floating continent, and we got the Fire Crystal, which allowed us to grab a couple of jobs that I wanted for people. So grabbed Ranger, grabbed Scholar. Now Scholar I think I mentioned it previously, but for Scholar, the items that they use in battle, the effectiveness of the items they use in battle, especially the attacking items, it's independent in this version, as far as I'm aware, of job level. So it's not super important that Ingus keep getting job levels. So at some point we'll be able to switch him back to White Mage, because that's a little more important to get job levels on, but we'll worry about that later. For now, we can keep him Scholar, Lunith can be Ranger, and we'll keep going from there. Now, if I remember correctly... Yeah, okay, so here's the thing about job level and job adjustment that I didn't talk about before. For every 10 levels on the jobs that you're switching back and forth with, it reduces the job adjustment phase by 1. So basically, since Ingus has 24 levels on Scholar and 21 levels on White Mage, he can freely switch back and forth between White Mage and Scholar with no penalty to his stats. The only problem, of course, is the fact that he, doesn't have the MP, because if he switches back to White Mage, he still has 0 MP on all but his level 1 charges for right now. So it's a little bit of a problem, but not really a huge problem, because we can find other ways to get that MP back, like using healing springs and that sort of stuff if we really need to. But just something to keep in mind for later. How many holy arrows do we have, now that I think about it? Oh yeah, I should probably get into a battle so I can show you, because I turned on the select button so I could use auto battle. So I should show you kind of what I did in order to train up Lunith's level, job level a little bit, not even regular level, just job level. So. But I was saying, how many holy arrows? I have 50. You get 20 in the next dungeon as well. Yeah, that should be enough. Okay, I was considering going back to the Dwarven Hollows, but I think instead of that, I'm just going to walk right over to Tokkul, even though I just took one step. And okay, well, you know what? Actually, this battle is perfect. It's exactly what I want to see. So, as you may remember from previously, I actually went ahead and gained, that's not what I want to do, a few job levels for everybody. That includes Eric as a thief, and what that means is, since he is now a higher job level thief, he can actually steal different items than just regular potions and high potions from people. I'm going to use a mallet on Lunith because that'll mini him. And I was starting to run into problems actually when I was, see, there you go, he got a Zeus's Wrath from this guy, and that's exactly what I want. Yeah, I was starting to run into problems with just the regular goblins in the Altar Cave after a while, because even though I was minied, and even though I had the weakest bow and arrows in the game, I was still inflicting damage on the enemies in there, and the enemies outside, so I had to skip out and basically go over here instead, and that's why you're meeting me at the Village of the Ancients. I guess I didn't think about that until just now. I probably should have mentioned that, but that's okay. And I guess we'll just study since we don't have anything else to do in this particular instance. And then we can implement fast forward! Just get the auto battle going, which makes the battle run at, I don't know if this is double speed or what, but it makes the bow go brrrr, and I, of course, enjoy that immensely. So. Hey Marie, how you doing? Welcome back. Oh dang, missed the tower. Actually like that one. Yeah, it was pretty good. The Medusa boss fight went really, really well, all things considered. But yeah, it went pretty well. Salamander went pretty well. We had an Arctic wind, so that actually made it go very well. So. The reason why you asked that you actually have an OC for Undertale, that you're in the process of making an alternate version of him for Deltarune. Oh, okay, nice. I hope the process of transitioning over goes well. I don't know, like I said, anything about Deltarune, so I don't know how similar everything is between the two. I gotta imagine there's a similar universe, since I think, yeah, they're both like, I don't think the words portmanteaus of each other, but like you can switch the letters around from Undertale and make Deltarune, so yeah. Yeah, Scholar being the funny job in 3. Then it was so broken as a shield healer in 14, they nerfed it just about every expansion. Yeah, just about, so. To summarize him, he has so many inspirations fuel shoved into this single version as a combination of his original self from Undertale and Gaster's glitchy properties. Who was Gaster again? I don't think I remember Gaster from Undertale. I know he was a character in there, but I don't think I remember him. So. But this sequence that you're watching unfold right now is basically exactly the same sequence that unfolded in every single one of the battles that I did off-screen, guard, study potentially, if it doesn't go first, with barrage, and then steal. And that's, hang on, I need to check how many arrows I have. Hold on a second. But basically, with a regular bow and wooden arrows. You use up 32 of the wooden arrows, and that gets you not only a job level for Ranger, but also an arm strength level for Lunith, which will mean he'll hit even harder going forward, and he'll have less of an adjustment when he switches jobs. Not that he's really going to switch jobs ever again, but, you know, he might. So, alright, so we're on 3, and then, yeah, you haven't taken enough damage for me to use a potion on you yet. Brrr. Sorry. I know I keep putting that into the thing. It's probably really loud on the microphone, but that's okay. Alright, so 4. Oh, a secret character? Okay, that may be why I don't remember him very well. 5. I love how fast Barrage is in the auto battle as well. It's just so goofy. 6. And this isn't too bad of a place either to do this bit of training if you want to do this training, so you can get your arm strength levels up because, well, we're doing 0 damage for 1, but also now because Eric has his job level up higher, 7, he can basically steal Zeus's Wrath from these guys, bomb fragments from griffins, Antarctic winds from basically anything on the sea, so it's not a bad idea to do this stuff, even though I keep getting nothing to steal because I've already picked his pocket for a Zeus's Wrath. So, but it gets me job points for my job levels, so that's the only thing that matters. So, honestly, this is just funny to watch. I'm glad at the very least it's a little bit entertaining, honestly. So, okay, so now we can switch to Holy Arrows. We're going to get 20 in the next dungeon, and they're pretty effective against the enemies in the next dungeon, so we'll work on that. I need to use a mallet. You can use the Lightning Staff, and then you can use the boosted. I bought a bunch of regular potions, by the way, because the Scholar boosts their healing from 50 points to 100 points. And that's actually not too bad. We've still, I mean, that's like 25% of pretty much everybody's maximum HP right now, so that's still pretty good. I'll take it. On top of that, oh god, I just realized something stupid. Does the Warodo stop or rewind time? I think it stops time. I don't think it rewinds. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know much about JoJo, but just from the memes, I imagine it stops time, so. And yeah, basically everybody should get a job level out of this, and there you go. Especially Ingus, because Scholar gets job levels faster than, I think, every other job in the game, if I'm remembering correctly. Maybe it's tied with Freelancer. I could be misremembering. But I don't know. Watch that video you sent me of the person who did a solo bonus job run of this game. 1 party member, everyone else is dead. No using shops, no other jobs. That's... yeah, I gotta watch that one because that sounds like... well, maybe I gotta watch that one because it sounds like hell. And if it ends up just being hell, I don't know how much my attention will be glued to the screen because it'll be like, why would you ever do this to yourself, you know? But yeah, we got 50 potions. I bought 25 high potions as well, and we can get more of those later. Also, on top of going back to the Dwarven Hollows to restock on arrows, I was considering sailing on the sea over to Gisal, but we probably don't need to do that because we'll be able to get to Gisal easier than sailing over there, and we've already, I think, got just about every enemy on the sea already in our bestiary, so I'm not really super concerned about it. I will put my ship right here, though, so that I can get to Tokkul a little easier, so. Hey, Chris, how you doing? Welcome back. Voice of the Tardy. I'm here, what's going on? Just wandering over to Tokkul right now. I got some job levels for Lunith and for, well, everybody, actually, off-screen, so now Eric can steal more premium items, so we can throw them at enemies to do aura level spells. And there you go. Because of him being a glitchy mess of his original self, he can rewind time. I don't know why. Well, sometimes you don't need a reason for those sorts of things, you know? So, stops time, there you go. Gave him essentially what's a mechanic that's reminiscent OG Luigi logic from Mario and Luigi Brothership. Is that too broken? I haven't played Brothership, so I couldn't tell you if it is, but if anybody else has, they could probably give you a better idea. So, was that an eldritch floating ball of spaghetti? Something like that, yeah. So that was, let's go look, hang on, I can show you. It is something floating. It won't let me run into it there. its roots, basically, is what you're seeing, is the roots of something. What that something is, well, still up for debate, but we'll find out soon enough. Actually, I think you can just book these enemies to death, can't you? Because on top of raising Luneth's arm strength level, I also did a little bit of training with Ingus for his arm strength level, so he can book enemies to death. And, I mean, literally, watch. See? Book them to death. I do love the book sound effect when he hits enemies with it, though. It has a very, like... It sounds exactly like what it should sound like, I guess, is the gist of what I'm trying to say. Guess we had some leftover job experience there. You can get up to 199 job points per battle, even though you only need 100 in order to get to the next job level. So probably if there's any carryover, it'll go from there. So, all right, I'm gonna save real quick before we go into Tokkul, and then we'll go from there. And here you see Scholar's auto attack damage inspiration. Yeah, something like that. It's surprising how much damage he can get out of his 2 books, even from the back row, but I guess he has a total combined attack of 64, which is more than anyone else right now, so it's not too bad. Threw the book at them, wow, yeah, pretty much. It actually works pretty good as melee damage, especially if the enemy has an elemental weakness to the books he's got equipped, which isn't always the case, but sometimes you can get some pretty solid damage out of it. Later on, he'll benefit more from just equipping books that increase intelligence and mind. I think they do, anyway. And then just using either curative magic or his attack items. But for now, the books are pretty good melee damage. Know what I can't use melee damage against, though? Invisible paralysis wall! Ow. Who set a trap for me? And me without my Geomancer. No, Geomancer can't avoid traps in this game. Are there traps in this game? I don't think there are traps in this game, but they have the ability to avoid traps in a different Final Fantasy. One that we'll play much later. Oh, this part. Yeah, it's this part. Just saw this in the NES version, and it's just hilarious. Yeah, it's not necessarily what you would expect, I guess. Just walk into town and... Remember the Sexy Brutal and Ghost Trick? Love a good story-related time travel mechanic. Just that little bit of time rewind sometimes. I don't actually know if that's what it is, that little bit of time rewind, but for some reason my mind saw Ghost Trick and said, rewind a few seconds. Maybe I'm remembering something from long ago. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so the Roots demon that we saw traipsing around the desert there is actually the Elder Tree of the Living Woods, and this guy named Hein put a curse on it and turned it into his personal chauffeur and castle at the same time. I guess at least he's practical. We have been imprisoned. No shit, Ingus, yeah. I mean, he's very perceptive, as you can see. It's the glasses, you know. Oh, okay. See, I got the wrong impression. I was under the impression you were doing this at your own volition, but apparently not. So. Okay, I can do that for you, Your Majesty. There we go. Those are the words I'm looking for. A royal sword, huh? I don't have anybody who can equip swords anymore, but hey, it might sell for a good chunk. Oh. Seems like that's happening a lot, where people just have problems with the darkness corrupting them. Well, that sounds about right. Once you get corrupted by darkness, all you want is more darkness. It's like billionaires. Sorry. Anyway. I mean, that's the... Oh. Well, that's not what I expected. Ah! It's a demon! That's okay, I have holy arrows for these demons. There's, like, several enemies in this dungeon that are weak to light elements, so holy arrows and holy elemental damage will, in fact, do pretty good damage, especially if I use Barrage, which is basically just rapid fire from other Final Fantasy games. It's just sort of stuck into this one. So, that being said, rapid fire is very, well, Barrage is very good in this game, as you'll see in just a moment. Holy cow, that's 650 damage. That's as much as Refia is inflicting right now. And by the way, that's with a weapon that we bought 3 hours into the game, and we're currently 10 hours into the game. Also, it's doing more damage than Refia is doing. What the hell? What the hell, Lunith? You're only at arm strength level like 25 or something. Well, anyway, yeah, that guy dies and is no longer a part of the world once he's, well, killed in battle. As it turns out, people die when they're killed. Who knew? There's nothing over here to the left, so, yeah, I figured I'd just show you. That being said, though, I would explore this place thoroughly, because this is the first dungeon in the entire game, out of only a handful, really, that once you beat it, you can never go back to it. So make sure you get... There's 5 different types of enemies in this area. We've already encountered one. And I don't think there's any secret passages in this one, so everything is pretty much straightforward. You should be able to find all the chests pretty easily because they're all right on the main path or just slightly to the side of the main path. But yeah, make sure you get everything out of this dungeon before you leave, because if you don't, well, you're not going to be able to get it again, so... Oh, okay. Well, thanks for the mini spell, but I don't have anybody with level 2 white magic anymore. Whatever shall we do? Well, that pot fully restores you. HP, MP, status effects removed, and anybody who was, you know, KO'd is brought back to life, so. Excuse me. Love how you're just slowly remembering all of this game as you're watching me play. It's nutty that your brain is just various vaults for information. All it takes is the right nudge to bust the dam wide open and just remember everything. That sounds about right, honestly, because me playing it is probably activating the neurons back up into your brain, you know, so that you're gonna go the same way with it. Freeze below. Do you know where to find secret money? Secret money? Sorry, you've lost me. Just watching yourself play this in your memory and, yeah, yelling at your past self. Secret money sounds like something I'd like to know the secret for. Holy arrows, like blessed with magic or a sharp cross? Probably a sharp cross if I had to guess, but I don't know. People die when they are killed. Sans Undertale 2015. Speaking of Undertale, there we go. But yeah, you need the mini spell because there's a tiny hole over here. But you don't necessarily need the mini spell in order to do that, because as it turns out, if you go to mallets in your inventory, they don't just cure Mini in this game, they can also inflict Mini, which is how I just inflicted Mini on Lunith not too long ago when I needed him to be Mini so that I could, you know, train with him just a little bit ago. But yeah, you just need Mini in order to get into the hole. As it turns out, once you get past that part... Hang on. There we go. The rest of the dungeon is normal size, so you can just unmallet, or rather, mallet yourself again to get the Mini off. That being said, Ingus is about to gain a level, so probably I'll go back that way, so that way, like, once I get into my first encounter here, I'll probably go back and fully restore since he'll be leveling up. And I could have gone back to the Dwarven Hollows, now that I think about it, because I could have gone to the Molten Cave and gotten another bomb arm from the bombs over there, but I don't think that's particularly necessary. It would inflict massive damage on the next boss, but let's make it a little challenging at least, you know? Undertale's 2015? Dang, man. Reminder that Breath of the Wild is almost 10 years old. Yeah, I better get to that at some point here before it turns 10. Or maybe I'll do it when it turns 10. I don't know. I was going to say, honestly, I'd rather fail to steal anything, because this guy has, like, a single holy arrow to steal, and that's it, so... Which I guess would replace the one I just used on him, but, you know. I already got one, so... Alright, Angus got his level. Let's, remove those, put them back on... And it may look like we're running out a little bit, because it's like, well, you only got 46, and every time you use Barrage, you could use up to 4 of those arrows, but don't worry about it, we'll be fine. Trust me. Trust the process. Alright, there we go. Now we're all back to full. We can mallet again, and I can use up these mallets, because I won't need all of them. But that's okay. I spent a whole bunch of money on it because I was like, well, I might need these later, but then I realized, oh yeah, I get level 2 magic on Scholar starting at level either 20 or 21, so I probably don't need as many as I bought. We'll still need 50 potions and high potions, though, for a little while, so... Okay, now for the dungeon proper. Let's go see what we can find around here. Okay, well, there's enemy number 2, so that's good. They are pharaohs. Nothing particularly interesting to steal with these ones. There's 2 enemies in this area that have things that are more interesting to steal, but yeah, we don't need to worry about these ones. Not even thinking about your Switch, and you kind of need to. Bought Etrian Odyssey Origins Collection, so you have 3 roulettes to play, or roguelites, not roulettes, roguelites to play. Gotcha. Oh, I've been blinded on my mage. Whoops. Yeah, these guys are weak to holy arrows, so that will help. I don't even know what stare does. I don't think we've been hit by it the whole game, so... Goodbye. But yeah, not too bad on the damage so far, but wait until we get an upgrade on that bow. We haven't been able to get one just yet, but it will start to skyrocket pretty quickly, so... Also, fun fact, Breath of the Wild's game number AAAAA. When you say game number AAAAA, what does that mean exactly? I think I'm misunderstanding the idea there. Oh, we didn't get damaged at all, that's good. While we've got this party composition, I'm actually not going to heal in between battles. There's 20 more holy arrows, by the way, so that's why I wasn't worried about running out. But, yeah, I'm not going to heal in between battles, because it'll give Ingus something to do, because I don't want him throwing all of my attack items just yet. I'd rather we hold on to them for an important situation, so... Oh, it's the first game registered for the Switch. Okay, that makes sense now. Sorry, I didn't really understand what that meant. Here's the enemy that I was talking about. Lemur, something like that. But they're weak to holy just like the pharaohs, and, well, it won't take too much to get rid of them. I do like the detail, though, of how they have the sprite, like, the eyeball sort of, like, moves slightly as it moves. It really gives, like, eyeball vibes, which is, it's creepy, you know, and I like that. They can inflict confuse, by the way, with their physical attacks, so just be a little careful of that. But we can poke them in the eye and be fine, so... Or just about fine, anyway. Gotta use the light staff here. For right now, Refia and Lunith can cover each other, but pretty soon... if you think this train's rolling already with Lunith's damage output, oh, just you wait. It's gonna get a lot crazier. Yeah, eye clone. Something like that, yeah. I get it. Also, they have bomb fragments to steal, so they're the first major enemy that you can steal a decent item from here. And I've got a few bomb fragments now. We got 6 Antarctic Winds, 11 Zeus's Wraths, which are really the important ones to have for a little while from now, but I shouldn't need more than like 3 of those anyway. Got 1 bomb arm and then some bomb fragments. We'll get more as the dungeon goes on, because those are the only things to steal around here, so... I feel like Lemur needs that E at the end, or it really is just lemur, yeah. Yeah, honestly, it's like, wait a minute, that's not an animal. That's an eyeball in a cyclone of wind or something. So. But yeah, this is enemy number 3 of 5 in this area. Don't worry about the other 2 enemies because they're actually not available to fight right now. I'll tell you where you can find them in just a little bit when we get to those areas. So. Bomb fragments? Why fragments? I don't know. Maybe the cyclone ripped the bomb itself apart? Something like that? I've had to guess, anyway. Well, that was almost 800 damage. That's not bad. But yeah, as you can see, the potions heal for 100, so that's actually really nice. And don't worry about it if Eric fails to steal something. The fragments and stuff that we'll get from here is just kind of to give him something to do. In about 3 hours of gameplay, 4 hours of gameplay, we'll be able to access all of the level 3 attack items without having to worry too much about that, like by stealing. And they'll all be like relatively in the same area, so that'll make it very convenient to look for them if I need more of them. So, a demon. Do you think this is Nocturne? Get the heck out of here. I use the ice staff, why not? I don't know if they're actually like resistant to ice, so let's find out. Let's be a scholar real quick. This world is very interesting, but unfortunately the game unintentionally traumatized you. Not sure you want to play it again, but the temptation is there. Excuse me. I would recommend playing the 3D version just because I think that the mechanics are a lot more interesting. Pixel Remaster, well, because if I remember right, Pixel Remaster does have autosave whenever you move a floor up or down in a dungeon, doesn't it? So that might actually help a little bit in terms of making the Crystal Tower less sucky. But we'll talk about the Crystal Tower when we get there. It's not... The way that we're going to structure it... So Marie's going to say no about this, but the way that I'm going to play the Crystal Tower will make it more manageable than what it is for most players. So I have a plan, basically, is what I'm saying. Oh, that water looks radioactive. Well, there's some money in here, so... And a bomb fragment. Nice. Really? How? 3 passes! That's how. We're gonna make 1 pass where we grab all the items in the first part of it. And go to the bonus dungeon. We're gonna make a 2nd pass where we grab all the items in the tower itself. And we're going to make a 3rd pass where we beat the entire tower, beat all the final bosses, and beat the game. And I'll save in between each pass, basically. So, like, I'll leave. Effectively, I'll leave. Like, I'll teleport out of the dungeon, or I'll otter shroom, or if I can't do that, I'll walk all the way out, and I'll save, and then we'll go from there. So. Heard that this version actually is harder than the NES version. You're not buying any more Pixel Remasters. Yeah, don't buy any more Pixel Remasters for 1. And 2, this version being harder than the NES version? That's funny. Oh, you haven't seen the full power of Ranger yet, my friend. Voice the paranoid. We can't let a god down. What if the plants stop moving and what if we get trapped? It's a fair thought, actually, because, I mean, this tree did come from the living woods, so not really out of the question. Ah, here's enemy number 4, a Lamia. This is actually the only enemy you can encounter in this room, so, and she has bomb fragments to steal. So there you go. Not a bad thing to get out of the way right now. Thank you for the bomb fragment, ma'am. I'm not going to ask where you had that stored. I don't think I want to know. Are there even any plant enemies here? No. No, there are not. It's pretty much all undead enemies and a couple not undeads, including this Lamia. And that's it. Yeah, not a single plant here because all the plants are just the possessed elder tree, so... Monster Mizume lied. I don't, Is Monster Mizume like a... It looks familiar. Like, it looks like something I've seen someone talk about before, but I don't, like, it doesn't sound like something I've seen. So... Or am I thinking of something else? Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I mean, I know Monster Hunter, but, you know, that's not the same thing, so... You needed 10 or 12 passes to even get to the top, don't think... Yeah, 10 or 12 passes to get to the top, we won't need that in this version, so... Oh, it's a Monster Girl series? Okay, that explains why it... I haven't got any memories of what it is, so... Well, you're not a Dullahan. You're just a demon. I don't even think he's supposed to be encounterable in this room, but this room has an increased chance of spawning the final enemy that we need to find, which is a Dullahan, so I'm just gonna look around for it for a little bit. Oh, it's famous for getting borderline freaky at every turn. Okay, then. Well, I wonder if it came out after I stopped, because it's... So if it's a Monster Girl series, I imagine that means it's an anime. So I wonder if it probably, like... It probably came out after I stopped watching anime, right? Because the last anime I watched was Gurren Lagann, and that was back in, like, 2010. No, it was, like, Christmas 2009, New Year's, so... Yeah, I guess 2010 counts, but... Yeah, I haven't watched a single anime since then, so... Demon, I need you to get out of here. I need the Dullahan. I just in case I decide to go for 100% in terms of bestiarian treasures, I need you to let me see the Headless Horseman here, please. Oh, it had an online video game and think that one had new and unique girls. Okay, well, at least they gave you incentive to play it. A based anime choice, though. Yeah, Gurren Lagann was great. I enjoyed it quite a bit. It got like completely over the top by the end of it, but it almost makes me wonder why I feel so like neutral about Final Fantasy IX basically jumping the shark into a vat of acid from disc 3 onward. But that's Final Fantasy IX. We'll talk about that when we get there. So I should check how many arrows I have left, because I can only do this for so long basically before I have to stop, because I'm gonna need to reserve the holy arrows for the rest of the dungeon, but, you know. Ow. I guess I could just run from the fights, honestly. It's not really that big of a deal. Gurren was a goated AF anime. I've never been that hyped watching an anime ever since. Yeah, it was really, like, there was just so many moments of hype, and then they just, like, one-upped themselves in every episode. It was ridiculous. 33. Okay. So, and I have 20-something iron arrows left. So I could always put those in if I keep encountering Lamias, but I need the holy arrows for the undead enemies, so maybe I should have gone back to the Dwarven Hollows. Okay, there's the Dullahan. Doesn't matter anymore. So let's just blast him. I don't think he has anything interesting to steal, but there's only one way to find out, so I guess we'll find out. Oh, you've got a little bit of your HP gone, don't you? Let's use the potion. So I said, Arrow, how you dying? Aerodyne. Where have I heard the word Aerodyne before? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it wasn't quite enough. That's okay. Oh, you get 2 actions per turn? Wow. The regular enemies are starting to get crazy here. This party's getting crazy. Let's rock. Or thunder, as it turns out. Bye. Where's the horse's head? That's a good question. That is a very good question. I'm glad someone else noticed that. Apparently, both lost their head. I don't know. I'll be honest, I think Final Fantasy III gets the award for weirdest enemy designs in the series for me. Like, so many of the enemies in this game are just bizarre. Like, they just don't really... There's nothing really holding a lot of them together, and there are some staples from the series, but at this point they were still trying to work out, like, what they wanted to be a staple enemy for the rest of the series. So they just kind of threw stuff at the wall. So... Golden Sun Syndrome, it give the enemies a second turn, they instantly become way more threatening. Yeah, that guy was a little tricky, but I mean, it was okay. We had Barrage, so we're fine. And I mean, you can also encounter that guy in the final room where, well, as you'll see, we're going to get an upgrade for the Ranger anyway that will just make them a lot more manageable, so. Oh, found the Royal Sword of the Argus Kingdom. There you go. Nothing else in this room, though. Nothing over there either. Alright, listen, I've fought a Dullahan. You guys are probably not really going to be a big deal to me at this point. Let's book them a passage back to hell, Angus. Seems like Mario RPG, they threw a ton of random guys in to see if they'd stick, and they didn't. Yeah, pretty much. That's the gist, honestly. At least the gist that I'm seeing. There are a few that stand out and end up in other games, but usually they come out in like maybe 1 or 2 other games in the series. Unless it's Final Fantasy XII, in which case there's just a ton of overlap from every other game in the series, since there's like, you know, 12 was supposed to be a celebration of the rest of the series at that point, so. Oh, we're outside now. Okay, well, yeah, if you look off the side you can see the sky where, I guess we can't see the desert down there because the draw distance would have been too much for the DS version, which is where this game came out originally, but PSP probably could have done it. That's okay, though. You don't get to see it for very long. Oh, he's hitting 5 times per fist now. That's great. Not that we really need to worry about that too much because Luneth has got that covered, so... I'm going to check how many arrows I have again, just to be sure. I might have to start doing single arrow attacks, because eventually I'm going to run out of barrages. Not that we need the holy arrows for the boss fight, though, so... Okay, we're back to 21. Or, not back to, but we have as many as we had iron arrows, so... That's fine. If I run into something that's not weak to Holy, which probably won't happen very often out here, I'll just switch off to the Iron Arrows if I need to. Excuse me. Final Fantasy gets more ironic the higher the number gets. Yeah, I think they're pretty well aware of that, of how they, of how it's a little bit of a silly name considering, you know. I think they kept it because it was symbolic, though, because if the original did not sell well, Square would have gone underwater. They would have had to declare bankruptcy and probably sell off and liquidate most of their assets before, you know, making the company solvent and not making games anymore. At least that's the story that everybody says anyway. I don't know how exactly true it is. I'm not a historian, but, you know, that's the story anyway. Oh, an elixir. Thanks. Yeah, this is one of those successful swan songs. Not a lot of those. Yeah, pretty much. That's the gist. So, anybody need healing? Nope. Good. We can throw the book at them again, or Luna can just do it himself. That's fine too, I guess. 3, 4. Goodbye. Now, I need you to understand, again, that's the killer bow. We've had a killer bow for hours and hours of gameplay at this point, and it's still one-shotting the groups of enemies in this dungeon. Can you imagine what's going to happen when we, I don't know, get a bow upgrade? There's the rune bow, so take a look at this. Hang on, let me find it. There it is. Holy cow, that's a lot more damage. So 26 to 42 attack on the bow. Lunith is now going to annihilate everything in this dungeon by himself. And get used to that, because as it turns out, Ranger is really, really strong in this game if you do a little bit of training. just like, I don't even need Refia to do anything, Refia. You can guard. Just watch. Just stand there and watch as Lunith annihilates everything. Oh, that was 2 hits and they're dead. Oh, it has begun, everyone. The way that random battles go in this game, you've seen it all now. That's the gist of how pretty much every random battle will go for the remainder of the game. It's gonna get so ridiculous that I won't even need a black mage pretty soon. I am become death, the maker of pincushions. Yes, something to that effect, yeah. That's as stupid as what you just did in Etrian Odyssey 3. You're upgrading the gear on your Arbalist, and you kind of bought him a new bow launcher thing. His attack went up by over 50. Oh, that sounds about right, honestly. It's like getting the Arbalest in, what was that, Radiant Dawn, where you get crossbows? Or were those in Path of Radiance as well? I don't remember. I didn't play either one. I probably should at some point. I've been watching Frank play Path of Radiance for a little while. I didn't finish that series, so I went back to it. So I forget if he finished that. I feel like he did, but I could be misremembering, so. Did not realize it was that far behind. Yeah, sometimes that just slips away from you, you know? Oh, it was Radiant Dawn? Okay, gotcha. I was like, wait a minute, I remember those having, like, massive strength in that game. Well, so far Ingus's low vitality hasn't come back to bite him, but it may eventually come back to bite him. Oh, is that the tier 3 for Archer? Gotcha. That makes sense. But yeah, it may come back to bite him, his low vitality eventually, but it'll probably be okay. Worst comes to worst, I can just switch to White Mage, since we can switch there freely without any problems. But I need to get a different job for Refia first, because I'm going to sell a bunch of the stabs I have, so. Okay, so now, boss fight coming up here. He's got pretty good physical resistance, physical defense, but we have Medusa arrows and a rune bow, so we have 65 attack, and I mean, not everybody else has a lot of massive attack, and his magic defense isn't particularly great. That being said, he does have a gimmick that we probably will try to ignore and brute force directly through, but hey, you know, the bomb arm should do good damage no matter what I do. I don't think enemies like ever get to have complete immunity to anything in this game. They're just resistant. So, gonna go out on a limb and guess that you're Hein. What's wrong with your face? Probably melted you from the inside out. An all-encompassing nocturne, huh? And you happen to look like Matador from that game? I feel like I've heard this all before. Makes you want to use power gear on your no gear Mario and Luigi save for a few battles to feel like a god. Something like that. Not because you just forgot or anything, you have 8 guildmates even though a party can only have 5, so you have to rotate them in and out, and he was still hitting hard anyways. Well then, yeah, I mean, it's worth, you know, it's something that you may just be like, I forgot to do that because, you know, he was hitting hard anyway. How, you know, why would I even try to check, you know? It's like, he's doing enough damage. And it's like, oh crap, never mind. Time to fly! Oh wait, we're already flying. Time to die! So here he is, Hein himself. Let's see how much damage Barrage does to him. We can steal a high potion from him. Do I want to do that? Or do I want to Bacchus' Cider Luneth? I think I want to Bacchus' Cider, actually, to give Luneth a few. It will increase his turn priority, not priority, sorry, I should back up. It'll make him go first more often, for one, and for another, it should increase his attack power as well if it's doing what I think it's supposed to do. And then we'll just throw Fires and stuff at him, and also toss the Bomb Arm because it should do pretty good damage. So 1, 2, I'll stop doing this eventually. 3, 4, maybe I won't, I don't know yet. Wow, that was almost 800 damage, not bad. Oh good, he can cast Sleep on the entire party. Love that for me. Ow. Well, this won't really do much because Luneth is asleep, but yeah, you know what, it's fine. We should be okay. He's got 4,500 HP, and we've done 1,200 already. And this is gonna do... Holy crap! 3,000 damage from that one attack! Yeah, this is why I wasn't really worried about this. Because that was double the damage that would normally do to most enemies, because Scholar doubles the damage output of all attack items, along with doubles the healing output of all healing items, so yeah, this is already over. Goodbye, Hein! We skipped his unique mechanic. He can actually barrier shift to shift his elemental weakness at will. He'll either become weak to fire, ice, or lightning and resistant to the other 2 elements, if I remember correctly. But we didn't even need to worry about that because 3,000 damage with that fire tornado. So, what's the stubborn? Show that bag of bones some hustle. The bosses all look so derpy outside of battle. Yeah, they do. It's so goofy. Let's go, Scholar. I have more reason to love my favorite Final Fantasy job. It is really good in this game. It is the premier magic damage dealer in this game, because magic damage from attack items does not take into effect job level. So you just do that much damage right from the get-go. You don't even need to raise your job level, and you just kick the crap out of everything, as it turns out. Whew, that was good. Kicked his hiney. Yeah, something like that. That can go a little worse sometimes if he like focuses on a specific character, because he obviously has 2 turns and or 2 actions per turn. So if he focus casts one Blizzara on one of your party members and then attacks that same party member, he can one-shot any of my characters from full HP at this point. So that went very well considering what it could have done. So, the tree is talking. The walls have ears? No, the walls have mouths. What is this, Final Fantasy Legend 3? Mouths where there shouldn't have been any? Yeah, earthquake, we're in the air. Yeah, it was the Elder Tree waking up from the curse, so... No problem, big guy. Excuse me. Oh, okay, good. Thanks for taking care of all that for us, because it would have been a little bit difficult to escort all these people back to Castle Argus myself. Okay, let's go back to the Living Woods then. But yeah, at this point, if you didn't encounter all 5 of the enemies and you didn't grab all of the chests, you can never go back there because the Living Woods are now free, so there's, well, I mean, the castle is probably still carved into the tree, but the tree's a little smaller now, as you can see. We'd probably need to mini in order to go back into it, and, well, we can't enter the Living Woods ever again because he's going to go to sleep now, so... Oh, okay. No problem. So do these fairies count as Sylph? Or is there a Sylph summon in this game? I don't think there is, but I could be misremembering. But yeah, we get a Fang of Wind from them. That's 2 Fangs now. Still don't know what they do, but I guess we'll figure that out later. Oh, okay, fair enough. How long will that take? Oh. Okay, well, that's a while. Have a nice rest. So did you make the floating continent with your magic then? Like, to save the people on the continent from, well, whatever's happening down below. Oh, okay. The world of darkness, huh? Guess I better bring a flashlight. I have a light staff, I'll be fine. Yeah, he's just being overly dramatic. There's no other story beats here on the floating continent after you get the airship back up and working, which we will do in about 5 minutes. But you can take as much time as you want on the floating continent before you leave. You won't ever soft lock yourself from completing the story because you don't leave in time. So, but he's opened the gates for us, basically, and once we get the airship, we can leave. So, let's get ready to leave. First, we gotta go to Castle Argus and make sure they're doing okay. There's a couple other items we can grab in the castle now that we couldn't grab before. And, well, one of them includes the Wheel of Time, which we can use to get the airship up and running. So that's what we'll do. Yeah, I should probably unequip my strongest arrows, because that would probably be not good to lose all of those. I need them for one more boss fight, and I'm not even sure if it works on that boss, but I guess we'll find out when we get there, so... Ice Staff, and then we can just study, because I don't want you to kill this thing before I steal from it. Holy cow, that was 2,500 damage, 2,600. Yeah, so any flying enemies in this game are weak to not only wind, but also bows, which might come in handy for one particularly nasty boss later on that likes to zap you a lot, if you know what I mean. If you don't, you'll find out. Remember thinking that song was annoying? Yeah, the victory song can get a little grating after a while, I think. I mean, it's fine, but it just kind of loops on itself a lot, so... Yeah, completion is soft block. Oof, yeah, exactly. Deku Tree and this guy would have a weak, brief conversation. You killed him and dang near killed the Reaper with him. Yeah, that's just about right, honestly. Yeah, it's funny though, because like in a couple of weeks when I'm off of work, I'm off of work after this coming week here, but in a couple of weeks after we've gotten back to 3 streams and stuff, once we're getting close to the end game, you'll be seeing damage numbers higher than that, for certain. Like, not just on flying enemies, on every enemy. When I tell you that Ranger is busted OP, I'm not joking. I forgot, we can go back to Tokkul as well and just see how everybody's doing. There's no new treasure as far as I'm aware, though, so we can just kind of check in with the old guys out front. You're welcome. Oh, okay, so it sounds like Sarah and King Argus will kind of both contribute to the reconstruction. Yeah, that's the Gulgans. But yeah, as you can see, I don't think any of these people are going to say anything different. Maybe the lady and her kid might say something different in the one house, but it's kind of just, hey, you saved us, thank you. And that's enough. Alright, off to Castle Argus. Just go straight to the peninsula here. And then once we get the Wheel of Time, we will take it over to Sid, so he can do some stuff with it. Yeah, I could probably steal something from these guys. See if I can get one Antarctic wind while I'm here. Whoops. There we go. Throwing the book at him again. Not bad, Angus, not bad. No, I didn't get to steal. No, that's okay. The funny thing is the further along we go in the game, the less we'll... Well, and actually... Ooh, that's nice. Replace the one I used. We won't really need Angus using attacking items in any random battles, like, ever, basically. Because we'll have Refia doing Black Mage stuff for a little while, and Luneth is going to be a ranger for probably the rest of the game, honestly, so he'll be doing ranger things that will annihilate things very quickly. I do have a plan for Eric as well, which will help Lunith do ranger things, but we got to get him there first. I need to get to the water crystal, basically, before I can get Eric and Refia's ultimate jobs that I'm going to have them in. That being said, I'll probably switch back and forth depending on what I need. So, like, if I know I'm going to be able to use black magic to good effect in a fight, I may switch Refia back to black mage from her other job as well. Or if I want to steal stuff, I'll bring Eric back to thief. I may bring Lunith back to warrior at some point, but I don't think it's ever going to be really necessary. And also, the higher up warrior's job level goes, the more defense he actually loses when he uses advance. It gets to the point where later on in the game, with advance, like when he gets to job level 99, he inflicts 240% more damage, but he also has 240% less defense when he uses advance. So, yeah, I don't know if I'll switch back to that one, but maybe later I will, so... And then, well, Angus, I'll probably switch him back to White Mage if I, need it for something, but the further we go in the game, the less we'll need it for much, but it'll probably still come back to show off for... Like, I was thinking about it, and there's an upgrade to White Mage that I could get later on at the Earth Crystal, but it seems kind of silly to even use it, because I'll already have regular White Mage at job level 99, and I don't feel like grinding that one up, so... Yeah, I don't know. Am I going to show off the jobs no one uses? There are a couple that nobody uses, probably for good reason. I'll probably I'll probably talk about them. I don't think I'll use them. My plan was always to kind of give everybody 2 jobs each, basically, and so Lunith and Angus have already done that, but Eric and Refia will get another job at some point. Because my plan in Final Fantasy V, when we eventually play it, is to give everybody... oh, this isn't the right tower. Is to give everybody 3 jobs each. So then that way it's like they had 1 job each in Final Fantasy 1, 2 jobs each in 3, and then 3 jobs each in 5. But yeah, I'll probably still talk about all the jobs at the very least, so... Hi there. Oh. Okay, cool, thanks. Yeah, so you can get 2 elixirs from this guy now. That's a lie, and you know it! Mass-producing elixirs. Yeah, okay. I'll believe that when I see it. Anyway, yeah, so... probably won't be using any of the... Like, I'm trying to think, there's a few jobs that nobody uses, but, like, definitely the one that comes to mind in particular is Evoker. And I think there's pretty good reason that a lot of people don't use that one, because it's fairly random. I won't be using Evoker, but... we'll talk about it when we get it. It's a water crystal job, so it won't be too much longer before we get it. No problem, Your Majesty. Ah, yes, so this box is, or has in it, exactly what we need in order to fix the airship up, or make a new one. Speaking of jobs, you think Olimar or a Pikmin would count as an Onion Knight? Honestly, considering their little, like, antenna-looking thing, definitely the Pikmin, I think, would count as an Onion Knight. Are there any Pikmin that, like... I don't know if Pikmin has levels, though, right? I think Pikmin doesn't have, like, a level-up system, but if it does, then, yeah, if there's any Pikmin that are, like, really weak at low levels and then really strong at high levels, that would be the Onion Knight, so... I mean, if they put on the armor, yeah, pretty much. This has been a thought of yours for a while now. Ever since we got Onion Knight, this is the only thing that has consumed Chris's thoughts. It keeps Chris up at night. Thing is, will Olimar know how to use the Onion Sword, or would he just throw more Pikmin? I mean, probably just throw more Pikmin, but... I mean, that probably technically counts as spell casting, which Onion Knights can do, so... Yeah, we already met Sid, so we will take the Wheel of Time over to him just in a moment. Do I need to heal anybody? The spring is right there. I think all the other soldiers basically just say thank you for rescuing us from the evil tree. So I don't think we really need to bother talking to them. Okay, good there. The closest to a level system Pikmin has is going from a leaf to a bud and then to a bloomed flower. Okay, so maybe kinda similar then. So like, the leaf ones are the weakest. Yeah, so if they go from the leaf to the flowers. So if the leaf one's the weakest, that's like low level Onion Knight, and then, you know, the other two would probably be higher level Onion Knight, so. Something like that anyway. Alright. Let's sail away back to Canaan. We'll give Sid the wheel of time so he can fix up the Enterprise into a proper airship. And then once it's a proper airship, we can go to all the places I was going to go before I said, nah, you know, that's silly. Let's just do it when we can actually land, like, right next to them. So. You saw the stat chart for Onion Knight? Yeah, it's, something. The stat chart for Onion Knight, if I remember correctly, they have, like, in the teens for their stats, like 13 or below, up until level 90, if I remember correctly, and then their stats just skyrocket from 90 to 99, which, I mean, fair play if you want to get to, like, level 99. This isn't job level, by the way. I think I said this before. It's, like, their actual regular level where it skyrockets, but yeah, I don't think I would want to bother with that. It seems a little, like, too much work. You can beat the super boss of this game at, like, pretty low levels anyway. I think the lowest level I've seen anybody do it is, like, level 55, but that's not really realistic for the party I'm gonna have. It'd probably be closer to, like, level 70 when we fight the super boss. Because I'm gonna fight the super boss. It'll probably just be its own episode, because once he gets down to 33% of his max HP, he goes into pissy boss mode, and then gets a lot harder to kill. The stat curve must be amazing in the manuals. Yeah, it's just brrr, just flat and then straight up. The clap scholars do with the book as their finisher is actually dumb and you love it. Yeah, they do this silly, like, they slap the books together as, like, their last thing that they do if they get the final blow. It is silly, and I do enjoy it as well. We should probably tell Selena that Desh isn't coming back. Yeah, something like that. Refia, maybe it's better not to lie to her. Then again, all she does is lie in the bed, so. I don't think you want to know there, Jolena. He's not coming back. He, took a little bit of a spa date in lava. Anyway, let's go have a chat with Sid. And then we'll go restock on arrows before I go anywhere else, because I don't want to be going down to the surface world and then be like, I'm out of arrows. What? I'm out of arrows. I have to go back to HQ to restock. Selena built like a party hat. Sorry, not sorry. Oh, boy. Awesome. Thanks, Sid. Avoided telling anyone about Dash because why would you be the bearer of bad news, especially that bad news? Yeah, and you don't really even tell Selena about it. You just tell her that he's in the Tower of Owen, which is technically not inaccurate, but it doesn't really say what happened to him in the Tower of Owen, so. But yeah, once you're sailing on the seas with your ship now, you can just press the X button and it will turn into an airship. But yeah, you can only land in water, so just be mindful of that. Wait, what do you mean, our own world? Back up a second, Sid. This requires some explanation. Okay. Oh. Well, that's not what I expected. Sid's still best character. He's also a backstory character now. So you see, kids, we were flying the airship with passengers. It was day like any other, and then it turned into that last raid from the Heavensward 24-man alliance raids in Final Fantasy XIV, and the sky just turned all dark. That one weird guy showed up and tried to throw everyone off the ship, and, well, it didn't really end well for any of us. I don't know what that accent was. It was bizarre. It was not Southern accent, but it was really bizarre. Yeah, it was a surprisingly good sky considering. Of course, there's a bit of a problem in that the airship is on fire now. Yeah, that we probably repressed that memory just a little bit. Well, there's one way to find out. Yeah, we can fly on down there. And we have the Elder Tree's blessing now, so I can't imagine it'll be that difficult. We will, Sid's wife. You don't really have a name, do you, now that I think about it? Scarlet and Violet could learn a thing or two about that, yeah. Yeah, just a little bit, yeah. I mean, there's still repeating textures in this game, but this game is from 2006 originally, so, like, it's not shocking, you know? Yeah, fair enough, Sid. You're from the South, have been here the overall majority of your life. You cannot do a Southern accent. Even members of your family have told you that you have a city accent. Yeah, I think it just kind of depends on the area that you're in. I feel like that, like, country accent really comes up more in a rural setting, which I guess makes sense since it's a country accent, but this game is consistent in quality. Yes, that is the idea, yes. It may not be the best in the series, but it is consistent, and that's kind of why I enjoy it as much as I do. I know Marie doesn't necessarily enjoy it quite as much, but I enjoy it because of how consistently, like, it's not great, but it is consistently good, so. Especially when you find the silly, like, ridiculous, not really exploits, but just using the mechanics for all they're worth, you know? So. Anyway, so yeah, now that we're on the ship, we can press the X button and fold the sails in for propellers. I also like the little bit of water that falls off the ship as you come out of the water. That's a nice touch. Okay, but we can now fly, so that means we have quite a bit of room to maneuver. We can go anywhere in the world we want, so long as we don't try to fly over mountains, which means there's 2 dungeons that we just cannot get to, including that one over there. Because, well, maybe that's not a dungeon. That looks more like a fish. I don't know how well you can see that, but it's in the water just kind of circling around there. We can't access that just yet, though, but we can remember that for later. Maybe we can get the airship to fly a little higher so it can cross mountains. I don't know. One way to find out. If you press the circle button, you can land back in the water, though. So. Excuse me. Oh, I can do a country accent, I think. I started doing that a little different because of the I at the beginning. Look, you just suck. Played this before, a part of your life where you suddenly started trivializing games. Distinctly remember back in 2010 or so, every game just felt too easy. Is that a submarine? I mean, maybe. At the very least, it's a submariner. Ooh, this is a treasure trove battle. Oh, gimme those Zeus's rats. I'll take it. I'll just, yeah, we'll just study. And fast forward! That's one. Now we can start eliminating the enemies after this, so. There we go. Use the staff. And study again and fast forward. Stab them in the giblets, yeah, that's the gist of it. Take away all of their valuables and then blast them with elemental magic, so. Actually, you already stole from that one, so you can steal from that one. And then we can just do that, and that, I guess. Seriously, it looks like a switch got flipped. Which is funny, since you literally played Mega Man and Bass as a child, and it actually made you cry because it was so hard. God, yeah, that game was so difficult. Who the hell thought that was a good idea? I don't know. What do you have equipped? Oh, just iron arrows? Okay. I'm gonna have you guard still, because 20 is a nice round number. The funny thing is that since Barrage uses up to 4 arrows at a time, I usually try to have it, like my arrow count, in multiples of 4. So we can't go to 99 because that's not divisible by 4. We can't have 100. So, yeah, there's the clap that Marie was mentioning a little bit ago with the books. But yeah, we can't have 99 because that's not divisible by 4. We can't have 100 because you can only stack up to 99. So I usually just go to 96 and that's good enough, you know. I mean, it was harder than the initial release of Rockman and Forta because of the screen crunch on the GBA. Yeah, that was the thing, because that was a port, if I remember correctly, of an SNES game, which was, yeah, just Rockman and Fort instead of Mega Man and Bass, because it didn't come out, the original one didn't come out in the US, did it? So. Mega Man and Pokemon Ranger made you cry as a kid? Pokemon Ranger makes me cry as an adult because I think about the fact that I would have, like, massive carpal tunnel if I ever picked that up. So. Alright, we'll buy up to 50 high potions. I'll get to 15 mallets just in case I need them for anything. But, yeah, that should be good. And let's sell a few things while we're here, why not? I'll keep the Otter Shroom because we won't be able to use the teleport spell with Ingus unless I switch to White Mage for a little while, and even if I switch, I won't have the MP for it without burning an elixir. And they're kind of rare and hard to come by, so I don't think I'm going to do that. I should probably show what these Gasal Greens do, so instead of selling that, I'll just show it off when we go back towards my ship in a second. So keep those. I only need one Fire Staff. I only need one Ice Staff. I'm going to keep this regular bow because I could still use it for training later for Lunith. Royal Sword sells for 5,000, so hey, I'm never going to need that again. I'll keep each of the 2 books each. Need to restock on Holy Arrows. And looks like, hang on, there might be more. Because I think I had some armor down there somewhere too. Yeah, there we go. We won't need the Flame Mail, actually, because by the time we get to the point where I'll be switching anybody's armor up, we'll have access to better armor. So just keep the Mithril Shield and the Gauntlets for later. And we don't need another mini spell. Or this Killer Bow anymore. Because we have the Rune Bow. Bro, you miss Pokemon Ranger. How do you draw 30 loops around a Raging Entei without taking the stylus off of the screen? Suffering. That's a lot, yeah. Wow. There's that, and then there's also the DS version of Knights in the Nightmare. Hey, who wants to play a game similar to Final Fantasy Tactics but with heavier restrictions on how jobs work, no job switching, and bullet hell? Oh boy. The atmosphere is immaculate, though. Yeah, I mean, I've always thought about maybe picking up Pokemon Ranger at some point, but then I just think about my poor wrists because I was diagnosed with mild osteoarthritis a couple of years ago, and that was why I started having, I put a scoopful of ground flaxseed on all of my wet pasta that I eat, so like any pasta with sauce, basically. I put a heaping teaspoon of ground flaxseed on it because that has omega-3s in it that will help with any arthritic tendencies, so it'll slow it down. It won't, get rid of it, but it will slow it down, so... Okay, so now we've got a bunch of money, so let's buy up to 96 of the elemental arrows. I don't think the ice arrows see too much use, honestly, but the light arrows will see a lot of use in the future. There's a lot of enemies that are weak to electric damage in this game, as it turns out. But we'll get there. Firewatch also gave you that I'm a cool forest ranger vibe. Yeah, I didn't play Firewatch either. I think I meant to try it at some point, but I just never did. Maybe I should remedy that at some point. Maybe with the power of mouse macros? Yeah, maybe. Mouse would probably make it a little easier to, actually move. So I thought about doing that for The World Ends With You at some point, because I really want to play the DS version of it, but I'm almost at the point where I'm like, I don't really feel like buying a draw pad just for this, so I may just give up and play the Switch version instead. I just really like the light puck mechanic in the DS version, and I don't know if that exists in the other versions, so... You love Knights, bought the Japanese version of the game that got ported to mobile. Can't enjoy the story anymore without learning Japanese, but you can play Knights again just on your phone. Based on the PSP port, so you don't need to draw nearly as many loops, but still do because of starting with the DS version. Yeah, fair enough. Once that muscle memory's in you, it's kind of hard to get it out, So, okay, so what does a Gasal Green do? We just have one for right now, so... You can catch a Chocobo if you want, but if you walk up to this tree and use a Gasal Green where it smells like Chocobo, you can summon this god-awful abomination of a creature, Fat Chocobo. Where are your feathers, sir? What the hell happened? Why do you have human skin? Anyway, he's the storage and withdrawal mechanic of the game, so you can store items in him and then withdraw them from his gullet later. This worked more in the original version, because if I remember correctly, in the original version you could only have 48 items total in your inventory, and well, in this version you don't have to worry about that, so I don't really use Fat Chocobo for much of anything, but here he is looking like he's having a very hard time breathing and wants someone to kill him, but you do you, big guy. So yeah, I won't really need Gasal Greens for anything in this one. So we won't be using them. Alright, couple more stops. Let's go to the Dwarven Hollows. We'll restock on Iron and Holy Arrows. And then we'll go to Gasal, since we have not gone there yet. I should say this, though. You can go to Gasal as early as before you go to the Molten Cave. And if you're playing the Pixel Remaster version of the game, it might be really, really worth it to go do that, because they changed one of the spells that you can buy in Gisal in the Pixel Remaster. You can actually buy all level 4 spells in the Pixel Remaster in Gisal, whereas in this version of the game, you can only buy 2 out of the 3 black magic spells, and the one that's missing is the one that would help in the Molten Cave because it's Blizzaga. So, yeah, in the Pixel Remaster, they just let you buy Blizzaga before you fight Salamander. I wonder why. Maybe it's because people complained about how hard that fight was, because they didn't want to use the Arctic Wind. Firewatch is almost a walking sim, very little gameplay. It's okay. I can get down for a little bit of a walking sim sometimes if it has the right atmosphere, you know. Fat! Yes, exactly. Very fat. Alright, I need 89 of these. No, that would put me at 98. I need 86 of these? No, that would put me at 95. There we go. I had to do some math in it wasn't mathing, as it turns out. It looks like we've got most of the items that we need now, so... Eyelash decided to escape from my eyelashes and go down into my eye. That's not good, but I got it out, so it's fine. Much better than an eyelash that I had one time. I woke up from, like... I was going to school later that day. I had about a couple of hours before I had to go to school, but I woke up from, well, sleeping because it was like 7 o'clock in the morning. And the eyelash just instantly just jumped right into my eye. Well, jumped is a strong word. I'm saying it because it was aggressive, basically. It was like I sat up and it was just in my eye. It took me half an hour to excavate that goddamn eyelash from my eyeball. Just trying to rinse water with it, basically. Like, I'm not like trying to pick at anything. That would be disgusting, but I'm trying to like rinse it out, and it took like a half an hour before it finally decided to evacuate from my eyeball. It's like, are you done? Why? Why would you do this to me? Anyway, here's Gisal, so. Blizzinga. Teach me about bazongas! Jude got played. Oh, yeah. Tales of Xillia was a game. Yes, it was. Tap the Law and Chaos icon to switch between Law and Chaos phase. Still draw a loop around it because that still makes the switch. And it flows so much better. There you go. What's the opportunist? Let's see them parry this! Oh, but yeah, that Teach Me About Bazonga's skit was, I wonder, I wonder if Jude had any thoughts in his head, or if he was just like, okay, fine, I'll prove it to you know. Probably no thoughts, head empty, and didn't really work out for him. Let's see what enemies are around Gisal before we go anywhere else, actually, because there are some new enemies around here, but you can always come back here unlike Castle Hines, so I'm not super concerned. Oh, that's good, actually. So, red caps, and it's good because they have the same steel table as knockers, as it turns out. Man, bazongas and knockers in the same breath, basically. I'm going to hell, aren't I? Bakhonaga Hoogs, humongous. Like you said, Jude got played so bad. Yeah, just a little bit. I didn't see if I stole a Zeus's Wrath. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that I stole a Zeus's Wrath and just beat these guys up. They're slightly stronger than regular knockers, but that's fine. You know, it won't be a big deal. I guess I can study them. Humnumin Olangongus. Starting to sound more and more like that weather reporter that said that one name in Ireland so perfectly. Except I'm not doing it very well. You failed! I know. That's it. Well, he's dead now. I only just registered what you meant by you failed, and it was that I failed to steal anything, so thank you for telling me, but he's dead now, so there's nothing I can do. Yeah, sorry, I didn't register that. My bad. Until after I killed him. It is okay, though, because we have over a dozen Zeus's Wraths now, and I should only need, like, 3 for the boss fight, so it will be fine. I literally failed to steal. That new anime plot sure is something. It's funnier that you realized after it was too late to stop. Yeah, you know, you're right, honestly. Makes for more entertaining content, I guess. Alright, let's do a group cure real quick. And then, let's see. Yeah, okay, we've got 17 Zeus's Wraths. That's way more, honestly, than we need. This ain't Yu-Gi-Oh! Season 1. You can't just call off your attack. Yeah, that was a little bizarre. Anyway, the village of Gasal, where I would expect to see chocobos, but instead, I see sheep. Oh, nice. Where were you planning on going? To get a drink, or? You imagine them all just walking off the cliff into the river. Mother, I have become wet! Anyway, yeah, so you can buy Toad and Minnie here in Gasal, but you can also buy 2 of the 3 level 4 black magics, Break and Shade. The one that's missing in this version, that's not missing in the Pixel Remaster, is Blizzaga, which you can also buy from here. Again, you can do that before you go fight Salamander, so if you are really having trouble with Salamander in the Pixel Remaster version, just come here and buy Blizzaga. It shouldn't give you much trouble after that. But you can buy all 3 of the level 4 white magic spells here, so... Excuse me. Libra, which actually might help a little bit against Hein, I guess, because it'll tell you his weakness. Confuse and Silence, both of which I'll probably never use, but there you go. Voice of the Thief. It would seem that way. It would seem that we are... Something like that. Snowgrave. Is Blizzaga really necessary? Like, level 4 magic for this part of the game? Yeah, I know. I mean, to be fair, Castle Argus gives you an Arctic Wind, so probably if you have your Black Mage cast Blizzaga and your White Mage throw the Arctic Wind at Salamander, it doesn't really matter which version of the game you're playing. He'll probably die anyway. So, alright, well, I'll give Ingus all of the White Magic, just because I may, at some point, switch him back over to White Mage and he'll actually be able to use it, but... Yeah, he won't really be able to use it where he is now. And then we'll give Refia the black magic. Probably I'll buy all the magic, even though I'm not really going to use much of it, but... Maybe I'll buy the other magic for Eric, because Lunith just wants to shoot things the whole time, but... I'm not going to have Eric on a magic job anyway, but there is one other class of magic that makes its debut in this game that... Well, it's worth getting if you're not going to use a Scholar, so... You know. But I'm going to use a Scholar, so... Yes, it is slightly disturbing. Slightly is the strong operative word there. You overused your offensive items, ran out repeatedly. And that's why we have a thief at above job level 30. Anyway, here's the next dancer. So. Same dance, but blue dress this time. Did the original one have a blue dress? I don't remember. It feels like it's been so long since we've been in, even though it's really only been a couple episodes. But it has been a while in terms of, like, weeks-wise, so. Anyway, this old man tells you your completion rate. He'll let you look at your bestiary, and on top of that, he'll let you look at achievements, which is... Basically, it'll tell you how long it takes you to clear the game when you do, the number of chests you've opened, the number of enemies you've defeated, the battles that you've run from, your maximum damage output, your maximum hits, and master cards are used when you master the jobs, but you need to find the person to give you the card first, so we haven't done that just yet. I've only got 38% chests opened. Oh, I know why, because I haven't opened the chests here in Gasal yet, that's why. Okay. Or maybe there's some other stuff that I've not found yet, I don't know. The Forbidden Bag of Holding. It's one dancer in multiple outfits? It could be, maybe. Do they just only have different dresses? Probably, yeah. I think that's just about the only difference, so. Yeah, I think that's it for here. There's a couple of treasures we can find around town, but not too many, so. I think it's mostly Gasal grains now that I think about it, so. We'll just wander around and see what we can find while listening to the goofy music. That must be a life spring then, since nothing happened. Although I don't know if it can be a one dancer in multiple outfits, because we can go down to the surface world, but there's another dancer on the surface world, so maybe there's just a different dancer on the surface world? I don't know. Anyway, this shop sells magic keys. And I'm actually going to buy a few, even though we have a thief, because eventually I'm going to have Eric not be a thief, so it would probably be worth it to keep a few magic keys anyway, just in case I need him you know, switch from thief to something else, and I don't want to, like, switch back. So. But if you go around the counter, you can open this chest and grab a shuriken. Maybe that's the last chest that I needed. And then let's sell it back to him, because why not? Because as it turns out, the shurikens sell for... Holy cow, 32,000 gil for one shuriken. Now, it has an attack power of 200, which is one of the strongest weapons in the game. You can't equip it, though. It can only be thrown using the throw command, and you don't get access to the throw command until you get a job from the Earth Crystal, which is the last crystal in the game. And it's going to be several gameplay hours before we get anywhere near that, so probably most people will tell you don't sell these things, because they're going to be worth a lot more money later, but for now, it's quite a lot of money that we don't need, so I'm going to sell it so we have more money available. What in the actual... Why is that thing so expensive? Because it sells for 65,500 gil in the bonus dungeon, so yeah, that's why. Imagine being the magic key wizard, perhaps something of a troublemaker or pervert in his youth. Well, let's ask him. Sir, what do you do exactly? No, okay, fair enough. Yeah, he'll tell you basically this is what magic keys do if you haven't gotten any before, or if you're having trouble reading the item description. Although I guess the item description can be maybe a little vague. I guess, I don't know. I think that's just about it, though, other than what's in the garden. I think maybe you can get some Gasol grains from the garden, but I could be wrong about that. Oh, well, maybe that has to do with the fact that you have a mountain range preventing anybody from getting here, so... Yes, we met that guy. So he's the boss, huh? Fair enough. But yeah, there's some Gasol grains in here, so these may also be, because if I remember correctly, the treasure counter counts hidden items, so... Hello! You guys have any Gasol grains in here? No? Okay, fair enough. That was just the chocobo there. I think that's it, though. Because basically, before you go down to the surface world, you should have 40% chests opened. If you don't have that, you may have missed something. I think, if I'm remembering correctly from the FAQ, that's how it goes. Doesn't look like there's anything in this area, though. Anything over here? Well, I can't get up there to their reservoir. That's okay, though. And if we went down that other bridge, we'd just end up back where we were, so... Oop. Ah, there we go. I knew there was at least one thing to find on the ground here. Some more magic keys and another Gasol grain. And I can't go down this way. Fair enough. Alright, back out we go. Let me just check my treasure rating and see if it's, like, gone up to 40% now that we found all those items. Maybe, maybe not. But the thing is, though, is that we got all the chests in Castle Hine, so if I missed something, it's going to be in some place where I can go back and get them, so it's not really a huge deal. There's also a bunch of monsters we've missed in the bestiary, by the way, from, like, not being in battles when we're minied and stuff like that. We'll have a chance to go back and fight those later. I'm going to wait until we get the water crystal before we go back and fight them. But basically, before you go down to the surface world, if I remember correctly, you should have everything from number 1 to number 74 filled out, which it looks like at the very least we've gotten all of the monsters on the sea. I think. Let's see. Let's go back here. Yeah, we've got everything on the sea, at least, so... There's only one more monster you can find on the sea in the entire game, so... Oh, it's still at 38%. Oh, well. Maybe I'm misremembering something, I don't know. The FAQ said 40%, but... That's fine. Kind of glad they ditched the idea of magic keys. Yeah, it's just another item to hold on to in your inventory, honestly, so... It's probably better that it's not there anymore. Oh, yeah, wait, I read that one. Think any greens in the enclosure have long become browns. Yeah, honestly, yeah, they've probably wilted just a little bit. Fight? Did you mean stomp? Something like that, yeah. I'll be stomping a lot of fights later on in this game. Okay, but, let's see. I could probably just go buy the one potion that I used while wandering around, maybe sell a couple of things. So let's go to a regular shop before we fly off the continent, shall we? Because we've got an hour and a half. That means we should get through the next dungeon without too much trouble. Oh yeah, and there's another area that we can't get to, which is right over there. So we Won't be able to get to... There's two areas on the floating continent that we won't be able to get to until much later in the game. So we need to be able to fly over mountains before we can. So Village of the Ancients or Dwarven Hollows, because that's like... There's less steps to get from the ship to the actual town if I do it this way, so let's do it this way. Think you were level 23 or 24 when you left the floating continent? Yeah, we have a ranger. We won't need to be that level. We have a ranger and elemental arrows, so we will be very well equipped even at 20. So nothing I want to steal from you guys. So I think you're weak to lightning if I remember right, and you don't have a particular weakness, but I'll just beat you up with my books. Not bad, Angus, not bad. Ow. Well, we can rest at the inn as well while we're here. Why not, right? Might as well. Still have a lot of green going on in the party. Need to fix that in a little bit. Although I don't know if necessarily... It's like a teal color, the other job that I want to get for Eric. There'll be more blue in the party later, and it won't be the same blue as the navy blue that Lunith has on, so... I don't know how I feel about Lunith's turtleneck underneath his green and blue outfit. Like, it just feels like there's a lot of colors going on there. There's like green, navy blue, purple, brown. I don't know how I feel about it, but... Yeah, I'm already committed. I already started doing this, so might as well, you know, go all the way with it. I could switch someone else to Ranger, but... Nah, it's fine. Miss when you had the time to be the person leaving the starting area at level 99. Yeah, that was always fun, but God, I haven't done anything like that in a long time. No, you know what? Actually, I think I only ever did that once, because that was like when I played Final Fantasy XII on the PS2. I didn't raise up to level 99. I did get to like level 35 before I got any of the other party members, though. So it was really goofy, and I definitely never needed to do that, but I did it anyway because I was a kid, and what else was I going to do, right? So, well, kid is operative. I was a teenager, and high school was boring, so I had plenty of time to do other things. Alright, let's just get rid of these Gasala greens. I'll never need them for anything, so... Anything else I need to get rid of? We're topped out on arrows. We can't buy Medusa arrows yet because they're really strong as it is, but by the time we run out of those, because I'm really only going to save them for special occasions, by the time we run out of them, we'll be able to buy them again. Or not again, but we will be able to buy them. So. I wonder if the guy with the treasure chest completion, I wonder if he updates his list, like, after you leave Gisal. You think you have a secretive mana save halfway through doing that? A rusty sword run? Oh yeah, I could see that being... You'd need the levels in a rusty sword run like that. Sometimes I think about the Sword of Mana playthrough that I did, and I think about how over-leveled I ended up being, because I just kept, while I was talking, like, instead of stopping what I was doing and pausing the game if I had a point that I was making, like I do nowadays, I would just run around and beat enemies up while I'm just saying whatever I'm saying before moving to the next screen. I think it was like level 55 or something in the end game, which is ridiculous. You only really need to be like low 40s. If I remember right, anyway. No, I think at the very end game I was like 61 or something, which is even more ridiculous, but... Alright, I think... Yeah, I'm going to put light arrows on Lunith because the enemies in the next area will be very, very vulnerable to lightning damage. Well, I guess I say that like they're going to take a lot of extra damage, but they're weak to lightning for the most part. There's a couple that aren't, but they will also die because the damage will be atrocious that we do. So I'm not even worried about it. Alright, let's get the heck off this popsicle stand, shall we? Fly out into the great beyond. to the world down below. If we can get there, there seems to be a fell wind that's trying to keep me here. Fellas, I hate to be that guy, but if all of you are standing on the deck resisting the darkness, who's piloting the ship? I mean, you say that like we can do anything by just standing here. We need to, like, I don't know, turn the ship so we get out of the fell wind. Excuse me. Well, we have the blessing of the elder tree, so I think it'll be fine. I hope, anyway. This is giving you serious Chrono Trigger Bad Future vibes. I would hold on to those vibes. Because those vibes are pretty valid, as it turns out. What do you mean by sprawling? Oh, that's what you mean by sprawling. Deep dark galaxy like Skies of Arcadia sprawling. Got it. Makes a lot of sense, actually. Well, we're here. We can sail on the surface, even though it looks not very sailable, but yeah, we can sail on the surface. Let's see what's waiting for us in the dark world down below. Angus, world map, please. C'est pas? Is this nothing? Sorry, is this the ghost dimension? I mean, just about. Look at how empty that world map is. Holy cow. We got to get to that house that's by itself, the white house up in the northeast-ish corner. The other places we can't go to just yet. Even if we try to go there, it won't let us in. So we could go upright, but let's do the standard RPG thing where we go off the side of the map by going in the opposite direction and see if we can get there faster. I really just went down to sail on the surface. There's no enemies in this entire area for right now, so I just went down so you could hear the music because, what's it called? I think it's like The Unseen World or something like that. It's really good. It's really, really good music, so I just like the call and response where there's just the flute and then the music just surges afterwards in the second section of the verse. It's so good. It's one of my favorite songs in the game for sure, and this game continues to impress with its soundtrack. But that's not really something that's surprising at this point, I don't think so. Anyway, here's the island that we were looking at on the map there. It looks like somebody else scuttled their ship here too. Let's see if anybody's home. Well, nobody so far, but that doesn't mean it won't be a ghost ship. I feel like when you first come here, it leaves an impression. Oh, yeah. It gives a... Like, if you thought the game was just this fun romp before this, you get here and you're like, oh, it's going to be one of those kinds of games, isn't it? Anyway, Bloodsword and Zeus's Wrath, neither of which I'm... Well, the Zeus's Wrath I will use, but the Bloodsword, probably not. It was too busted in Final Fantasy II. I still can't use it. It's going to take several games before I feel comfortable using it again. What do you mean time will cease? I'm going to need some explanations here, sir. Oh. Yeah, that could be a bit of a problem then. Yeah. Well, she's not dead, at the very least. Sounds like she's alive. We just don't know what the problem is. Well, she sounds kind of similar to Mrs. Sid, but it sounds more like there's just something that's, you know, causing her pain and distress. Maybe a high potion? How you feeling? Sorry for the giant hat directly in the camera. There we go. That's a better camera angle. You know, this is actually really similar to Tunic. Spirit World vibes on the surface, hidden paths. It might be an inspiration for it. I wouldn't be shocked, honestly. I feel like this game, despite being kind of like unsung in the series, it left an inspiration for a lot of games going forward. So, where is her nose? Yeah, about that. Yeah, we're the Warriors of Light, as it turns out. So how do we save the world? Exactly. Yeah, there is that. What's the plan then, Arya? Oh, okay. Well, are you sure you don't want to rest up a little bit first? Sounds like you've still got a little bit of a cough there. Maybe I should have given her an antidote instead. Or maybe a vaccine. Not that those are in this game. But yeah, Arya joins your party as a guest 5th party member. And now we'll head off to the Temple of Water. We'll try to do that there, Gramps. I really like this music, too, that's playing in the background. I don't remember if this is Arya's theme specifically or what, but, like, just the music that they use in this game when you get down to the surface world is just so, like... It's just such a different type of music from what you've been listening to before this. Again, everything else is super, like, high-spirit, adventurous type of a deal for the most part, or, like, you know, it's a little bit... almost unnerving for certain situations with some of the, like, the music that plays before the boss fights and stuff, right? Then you get down here and there's just, like, this saxophone almost in the background here that's playing for her theme, and you get the swelling music of the, like, almost like a ghost calling off in the distance on the surface world. Like, oh my god, man. This game's soundtrack is too good. It's ridiculous. They can't keep getting away with this. No, they definitely can and should. Okay, well, we'll give that a shot then, I guess. Kyrie's inside me? Wait, wrong game. Yeah, the world below is all smooth jazz and soft green neon. Sounds like Tales of Xillia 2 to me. Adventurous music where the magic is happening, and then in the world where no magic is happening and only technology has allowed the people to survive the desertification of their planet, it's all smooth jazz. Been grinding in Final Fantasy V Advance for the last bit, using the quick save trick to keep fighting movers. Oh yeah, I remember the quick save trick. Yeah, so like you quick save and then you reload, and it's like the second encounter or something like that, right? So... actually, let me get a map up so that I know where we're going exactly. It's just straight north from here, right? North and a little east. Okay, I can do that. So we'll go a little east, and then we'll go north. For whatever reason, after quick saving, the second fight after loading the save is the rare encounter for movers and for stingrays. Sorry, wish that was in other versions. Yeah, but you know what? That makes it so much easier to find stingrays and get Mighty Guard as well, so like, hey... You're right, it should be in other versions, but I'll take it where it is now. So, okay, that was the small island, right? Let me see. I think I know what this island represents, actually, but I could be wrong about that. Hopefully we'll figure that out once we restore the world, but we've still got a little bit of work to do before that happens, so... I think I passed it, actually. We're supposed to go in here. I mean, in here. There we go. Because the Temple of Water's right there. There's a cave behind it, but we'll talk to Arya about that when we get there. Big Guard is nice and all, but Dragon Whisker farming, yeah, that helps too. The Dragon Whisker doesn't cast a spell, right? It's just a whip that still has the paralyze effect, or does it eschew the paralyze effect in order to be effective against dragons? I don't remember. Why is it that whips are so badly distributed in 5? I mean... bells are the same way, right? Like, the first bell you get is in World 1, and you don't get the second bell till World 3. I think harps are the same way, but... Oh, it still has paralysis and also is good against dragons? Then yeah, that's really worth getting then, because most of the other whips in Endgame and 5 are not great, because they just don't have the paralysis effect. So... Mole playing rough. Bells are just tragic. Oh my god. They almost always are in every Final Fantasy game where bells are a weapon. It just doesn't... They just don't really get a lot of love, and that's a shame, because they're kind of goofy weapons. At least they're Final Fantasy XII equivalent, which I would consider sextants to be the Final Fantasy XII equivalent of bells. Maybe I'm just wrong about that, but at least sextants, well, measures actually is the full name. Sextant is like the last one, but at least measures are a little more well distributed in 12. So, okay, well we got a shard of the Crystal of Water. Same with lances. Dragoon isn't super good, but lances are rare for whatever reason. Yeah, and I think the only lance that I can remember you being able to get in World 1 is the one that you get from... you can steal it from Sandbear, right? In the desert? And I mean, I think it's the rare steal. Otherwise it would be a very easy thing to get instead of getting Shuriken, but to throw. Yeah, how's that work exactly? Did you guys break off a chunk of the crystal or something? Oh, okay. Fair enough. So apparently the crystal is inside the Cave of Tides to the north. So yeah, that's why we didn't go there, because we're going to go there in a second anyway. You couldn't get inside if you wanted to anyway. You could go a little bit, about halfway through the first floor, and that was about it. So, well, we're trying to do the best we can with it, Arya. I don't know how gentle Lunat's going to be, though, when we get to the Cave of Tides. I mean, it's a Cave of Tides. Most of the enemies there are weak to lightning and light arrows. That's the second one you can get. The other one is in a shop, you think? No, you can steal one when you break out of Castle Exdeath, but that's the only way to even get that one. Yeah, something like that, so... Away we go! Something like that, yeah. I don't think Arya has any other lines, now that I think about it. I think it's just those two, so... Because she's going to be, like... Once we restore the crystal and we restore the surface world, I mean, she'll have other things to do. She's a priestess of water, so... And we'll already have the water crystal at that point, so she'll have other places to be. She's good while you've got her, though. I think she can cast Cura and Protect, if I remember correctly, as a guest character. So those are both really solid. And also the Cura is multi-target, so that's why I'm not really worried about Angus not being able to cast anything other than Cure. So, yeah, there you go. Incidentally, we haven't gotten a knife upgrade for Eric in, like, a million years at this point, but that's okay. We'll get him a knife upgrade, well... Actually, it won't even be a knife, it'll be something else. Soon enough, after we beat this dungeon. But let's go into the Cave of Tides and see what we can find. These enemies are actually a really good find to start with, these ropers, because you can steal bomb arms from them, so... You can also come back to this cave later on in the game, so I'm not really super concerned about, you know, whether or not I get everything from them right now, but if we can get a bomb arm or two from them, hey, I'll take it, you know? Or Lunith can just kill both of them right away because, you know, he's just as fast as Eric is. So. Is it a Moonring Blade? I think it's something like that. I don't know if the Moonring Blade exactly, but I think it's at least a boomerang at the very least. Yeah, this is as far as you could get in the cave unless you got the crystal shard from the Temple of Water, so... Because Arya needs the crystal shard in order to get into this area. So. Oh, okay. The forbidden shrimp with a bomb arm in his gullet. How did that even get there, anyway? Also need a new mouse, or you have to switch to the cinnamon roll one. Did I read that right? Cinema roll? Oh, okay. One that you got a long time ago. I don't think I've ever heard of cinema roll. Then again, I don't really shop for mouses very often. I still have that Logitech multi-button MMO mouse that I got when I first started playing Final Fantasy XIV, which was, what, like 2019? So it's a little old at this point, but it still works, so I'm not really concerned about it. Alright, so this guy on the side here, Twin Heads, he's not weak to lightning. So I'm going to throw more lightning at him in order to kill him easier. I don't think I even got to study the last time. I'll cover you! Thanks, Arya. So yeah, she can multicast Cura, but she can also multicast Protect on your whole party, which reduces the damage you'll take by physical and magical attacks, as it turns out, by 25%. So that's not too bad. I'll take it. Still taking lots of damage from these guys, though. Oh, it's a Japanese mascot and is very cute. Gotcha. Makes sense. Hey, Mr. Reaper, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. How does one become a musician to a streamer? Time itself is weird, isn't it? I don't know. I wasn't ever really a musician. I pretty much just played around with the music, if you're talking about the Metal Gear Rising music mixes. I pretty much just played around with the music tracks and got the results of those. And before that, and also after that, I don't know if they're called Let's Plays necessarily, but something similar to Let's Plays. And so then once I was done with the music mixes, I just sort of went back to doing what I usually did, only I do it for 3 hours now instead of for 35 to 40 minutes. So I just returned to old habits. Oh, you got that mouse a long enough time ago? Gotcha. Yeah, the setup is super Chrono Trigger, including the mutants. Yeah, it almost gives me Chrono Trigger vibes. If, you know, the enemies weren't on a separate screen like this, it would definitely be, like, big-time Chrono Trigger. So, I don't think anything here has anything interesting to steal, so I guess just a well, let's check what the Poison Toad has. Probably just antidotes, so... It's weak to lightning, though, so we should do some good damage with it. Refia can use this, so... Oh, okay. I guess we don't need it anymore. Thanks, Arya. She's already proving herself useful, and she's been here for 2 battles. Sensitivity was the issue before. Don't need to buy a new mouse. Says, well, that's a good thing, then. Hey, save a little money. Music's way good. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I had fun making it. I'm glad people enjoy it. So, that's all I can really ask for, you know. Did I have fun with it? Yes. Are other people enjoying it? Cool, that's a bonus. Yeah, Lunith is just gonna regularly hit for over 1,000 damage for the rest of the game. No big deal. You know, unless he just kills something outright with Barrage before he needs to hit 1,000 damage, so... Whoa! I don't know what that's all about up there, Chris, but there you go. Boo-doo-bop, boo-doo-doo-ba-doo-doo. Your Logitech mouse is having double-click issues, really just left-clicking. Oh, okay, gotcha. Sometimes you click and nothing happens, it's turning into a problem. Yeah, I could see that being a bit of a difficult thing, then. I hope I brought enough antidotes. Well, I guess we'll find out. The dungeon's only like 5 floors long, and we're almost to the 2nd floor as it is, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal. Your favorite was Wolf's Track and Monsoons, honestly. That's pretty common, actually. A lot of people really like the if it's Spirit of the Wolf mix specifically, this is the one you're thinking of, because I did a different mix for LQ84I, and then the one that's specifically for Blade Wolf. So, but if that's the one you're talking about, then yeah, that's a pretty common one that a lot of people enjoy a lot. And then Monsoons, I think, is still like the 3rd most viewed mix, if I remember correctly. I could be misremembering. It's been a while since I looked at my metrics for those, my analytics, but probably, if I had to guess. I know the original, The Only Thing I Know for Real mix is still the most viewed one. It wasn't always that way, though. Pretty much Spirit of the Wolf was the one that had the most views for quite a long time, and then eventually The Only Thing I Know for Real crossed over and took over for it, so... It took a while for that to happen, though. Alright, throw a potion out. Yeah, give it to Refia. Watch, I was gonna say, okay, well that's actually good, because now this potion will heal pretty much all that damage off. I was gonna say, watch Arya just heal for me before I even get a chance to throw the potion, but... She didn't, so good. Chrono Trigger Monster Screech and Battle Theme, the Battle Theme oh yeah, the Battle Theme in Chrono Trigger slaps like crazy. It's really good. Chrono Trigger's OST in general, it really reminds me of this game too, because like this game's like OST slaps as well, and Chrono Trigger's also slaps. It's all really good stuff, so... I don't think this bridge takes you anywhere, does it? Nope. Dead end. And this is not a secret passage either, so... There are a couple of other enemies besides just these two. And the Ropers. I swear there are. There we go. And still didn't heal with the potion. Oh no, we did. It's just we got hit again, so... Ow! Okay, you can slow down with that now. I have to use a high potion next battle. Spirit of the Wolf honestly was insane to start with the whoa. Yeah. Oh, I'm at 4 HP. I'm glad I'm using a potion because I'm going to need that in a second. Or I'm not and just, you know, KO. Yeah, so Spirit of the Wolf was kind of... It was perfect circumstances really helped with Spirit of the Wolf because the first time I made the LQ84i mix, the acoustic guitar was not available. Like the acoustic guitar that plays before you fight LQ84i, it wasn't available the first time that I made a mix for his boss theme. So I had to kind of just use whatever I had available. But once I made Spirit of the Wolf, the circumstances came together because in that case, the acoustic guitar was available, the vocals only version was available, and none of that was available before that, so I could kind of play around with both of those, and I think it worked out pretty nicely, personally. So, alright, Angus, time for you to get up to level 21 so we can keep going here. We're probably going to be consistently under-leveled for the rest of the game just because of how busted Ranger's Barrage is. I don't see us getting, like... Because probably Marie is just about right, where level 23 is just about what you want to be when you get here, so you end up at 24 before the end of the dungeon. And then I think the boss is about level 24, but we'll probably be able to... Well, actually, I'm not even going to say probably. We'll definitely be able to beat him at level 21. We've got Barrage. The boss is weak to lightning, so we've got a whole bunch of electric damage all over the place, and we've got like over a dozen Zeus's Wraths. I'm not really worried about our damage. So I was gonna say, see if we can get a couple of bomb arms while we're here, though. Might as well. Use the porcupine tech. Something like that. See, like, we can kill those things in 2 barrages now. Now, those barrages are doing, like, about half of what a normal attack would do. So, that's absurd. Like, that's just nuts. The damage output is insane, and it's only going to go up. The enemies will get defense, but they won't get enough of it. So, ew, that damage! It's quite a bit. Maybe I wasn't looking at the numbers, and maybe it had a number that was gross. I didn't see a nice number yet. I haven't seen 69 or 690, but, you know. Ow. Stop that. I'm gonna have to put you on the back seat here in a little bit, Lunith. If I want to be stealing from these people, I'm gonna need you to slow down. That's okay. I'll steal from stuff when I'm actually, like, doing stuff off screen, you know? If I have to, I'll steal, like, bomb arms and that from off screen. Like I said, though, you don't really need to get too many here in this dungeon. It's nice to get started on getting them, but there's actually, shortly after this, we'll get access to an area where all 3 of the level 3 elemental, well, technically there's a 4th one, but all 3 of the regular elemental Aga spell attack items are available. So like Bomb Arms, Heavenly Wrath, Arctic Wind, they're all available from different enemies, obviously, but all those enemies are in the same area, roughly. So we can get them all without too much trouble. You're waiting for a particular dungeon to see how you destroy it, because you need someone to avenge late middle school to early high school you. Let me think about which dungeon you'd want to see me destroy. I mean, besides the Crystal Tower. Cave of Shadows, maybe? I don't know. I don't remember pretty much any other dungeon after this being particularly difficult. The Cave of Shadows has a gimmick that makes it a little more difficult. And the gimmick is usually something you can solve by having other jobs, but... Ah, here's Blizzaga, finally. So yeah, you can only get Blizzaga in the Cave of Tides in this version of the game, so... Take Break and Shade off, and learn these one by one. There we go. We got everything up to level 4 at this point, except for one School of Magic, but we don't have access to that School of Magic just yet, and we don't even have access to the job, so that can use it, so I'm not worried about it. You can just guard, actually. Lunith can handle this. That's going to be a common phrase that we're going to be saying for the rest of this game. Aw, I wanted my bomb arm. That's okay. Oh, you rock the Cave of Shadows personally? Okay, well, good. Good, because I hear some people say it's pretty difficult because they don't use the gimmick, so... Turns out the gimmick was ignored because you kind of abused that job. Fair enough. Craving some chocolate cake right now. Might go fix that. Chocolate cake sounds really good right now, actually. I don't have any cake. I do have cookies, though, so I'll probably go grab one after this. You're making a yellow cake tomorrow, and now you're making you want to ask your grandma for that Oreo cake that she used to make. Ooh, you know what? Actually, that reminds me, too, is we never made one, but we always used to, I had my birthday when I was, like, you know, before I was a teenager, basically. We always, and actually when I was a teenager, too, now that I think about it a few times, we used to go to laser tag, and the laser tag place had these cookie cakes. That's not a cockatrice, you're lying to me. They had these cookie cakes, so it was like a gigantic chocolate chip cookie with frosting and stuff on top of it. Oh my god. It was so good. But yeah, apparently this is the cockatrice in this game. I don't know how to feel about that, but they can do just the same thing they can do in every other Final Fantasy game where they can stone you, so I'm gonna try to avoid that, if I can. The problem with learning to cook is being a dumb perfectionist. Yeah, being a perfectionist, it makes it a little tricky to cook because then you're like, it's got to come out exactly right or I'm not satisfied, you know? That's not poultry. I know, I've been ripped off. Just like their jaws just got ripped off when they died. But yeah, both of their regular physical attacks there could have inflicted Petrify, which would have been very unfortunate for Angus specifically because he's already behind on experience, and that would have only put him even further behind, but yeah, that's okay. We've got this all handled. I actually kind of like how healing has worked out with the Scholar, though, because, like, Cure actually heals for more HP outside of battle, and I can use it on multi-target, whereas inside of battle, potions and high potions and all that heal for more because of the fact that the buff to items only applies for Scholar in the actual fight, so... do I want you guys to attack? No, Lunith is going to kill everything anyway, so I guess you can attack just because you've got nothing else to do this turn. You made scones that were light and fluffy like biscuits. Need to recreate that dough. That sounds really good, actually, yeah. Oh, I guess their attacks can inflict stun. I didn't know that. Pretty much every enemy in this game, well, maybe not every enemy, but a large majority of the enemies in this game can inflict some sort of status condition with their physical attacks. It's kind of annoying, but usually it's not a huge deal, because most status effects in this game aren't particularly problematic, so... I guess really it's just stone that's problematic. Anyway, now for the normal path, because that chest with Blizzaga is the only chest in the cave, so... Why did Past Me not use Ranger? You did not know the power! And also the affordability, because quite honestly, the other job that has, like, projectiles is, well, Ninja, and you don't get that till Earth Crystal, and also their projectiles cost 65,000 gil. So... like, why is it so hard? For best results, fold batter. Yeah, the more folds that you make, the lighter and fluffier the batter gets when it turns into dough and crust. I could probably send you my notes from my food safety and food preparation class there, Marie, so you can see like what makes the best batter and the best dough. It's honestly, it's usually just adding more fat to it, which is, you know, I guess pretty common for baked goods, but yeah, the more like fatty stuff that's in it, the more fluffy it gets, typically speaking. You can go overboard with the fat too, but, you know, usually it's not a problem. Well, it could be a problem, but usually it's not. So. I've been stoned! I won't be killing these cockatrices this turn. That's unfortunate. My DPS. Okay, well, I didn't get completely stoned. I forget if the ice shield, like, prevents stone or something. Maybe, but I don't know. Add butter. Add butter. Add... something like that, yeah. Okay, well, we gotta get Lunith unstoned. It's not okay, he's a teenager. He shouldn't be doing drugs. Ice Staff on you, and then I guess just attack this guy in case it doesn't get him, so... Oh, you need a new cutting board too? I hate being an adult sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes all that stuff is not so fun to have to deal with, but... Oh good, I didn't get re-stoned. That's nice. Wonder how many arrows I have left. Like, light arrows. Guess I'll find out in a second. Let's see. Oh, 60. Okay, perfect. That's not too bad either. Let me switch those off for regular iron arrows real quick, and then we'll just do a regular physical, because you aren't weak to light arrows, so... And then everybody just go in on this guy. Okay, didn't get stoned. Good. That's good. You have multiple things that will cost you some serious dough. That bookshelf, found a cheap one from IKEA. Tea making supplies, makeup, a cutting board. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff. Oh boy. Hopefully it doesn't break the bank. Maybe, like... I don't know, certain things, like, I mean, makeup obviously probably going to be difficult to do without, but maybe you can buy them a little at a time. I don't know. Just spitballing. I should have just healed there because I didn't need anybody else to heal. You know what, I'll just use another cure for 5 HP. Why not? We've still got 4 charges. That'll get us through the rest of the dungeon. Being a girl is expensive. Yeah, I know. Makeup is like... It's ridiculous the price of just... Not even just makeup, but also like any accessories and stuff that you need. Like for hair, for nails, all that stuff. Like it's ridiculous how much they just jack the prices up for that stuff. It's so absurd. Meanwhile, I can get away with my $30 haircut and that's all I need once every 2 months. It's ridiculous. Like, okay. I mean, $30 is a lot as well, but like... Yeah, no, it's not a lot in the same capacity as the hundreds of dollars that, you know, most women have to spend on a monthly basis just to look presentable to society. Like, what the hell? Come on now. We can do better than that. Oh, you're talking about undergarments? Okay, I didn't realize that. But yeah, those are also very expensive. Most female, any, like, small clothes, very expensive. Most female clothes in general, very expensive. But, yeah, those two. It's like, imagine having to buy a, what would be something expensive that guys just don't have to buy very... I mean, I guess a wallet? Imagine having to buy, like, 5 wallets or something. No, 7 wallets. So... Need something, and a cheap one is $60. Yeah, I can see that being a bit of a problem. Don't make the mistake you did yesterday, though. Cinnamon rolls with too much butter and no eggs. They refused to go stale, but they had the consistency of wet sand. Yeah, you gotta have a binder. Eggs are a binder, and if you don't have the binder, yeah, you end up with what you got, basically. So... I think we've found all the enemies in this area. I wasn't really paying too much attention, but again, this isn't like Castle Hein where you can't go back here, so I'm not really super concerned about it. I just don't remember, like, once you restore the world, it's going to sound weird, but I don't remember on the world map where the Cave of Tides is relative to everything else, because when the world gets restored, you kind of end up, like, a little bit away from the Cave of Tides, but... I don't know. I guess we'll see what that's like in just a few minutes. Because we're almost through to the end. As it turns out. Okay, more job levels. Actually, I don't think Eric is going to be able to steal anything new that he wouldn't already be able to steal at this job level until he gets to job level 99. Because most enemies, they have 4 items that you can steal, but the second and third item are usually the same item. There's only a couple of exceptions to that rule, but... Like Griffins, it's different, because Griffins have all of the level 2 items available depending on what level you steal them at, so like... I think the third item in that case is like an Antarctic Wind or something, and then the Zeus's Wrath is the 4th one, which is only available at job level 99, so, yeah. Excuse me, did I save when I was outside? I forget if I did or didn't. Oh well, it should be fine. Excuse me. Again. I guess I'll just... We don't need to use any healing items, so I'll just do this. It's funny how the tables are going to turn pretty soon, though, because with what I'm planning on doing with the jobs, Ingus will still have access to, you know, double effectiveness on healing items, but he's not going to be the primary healer pretty soon. And that may seem bizarre to somebody who's played this game before, because they're like, wait a minute, doesn't he have White Mage as his other job? Isn't that usually the primary healer? Yes, but as it turns out, I have a plan. And the plan is probably a little silly, but hey, we'll make it work. Maybe. We'll see. Our classes are going to be so goofy, though, man. Like, nobody uses this class combination that I'm going to use. I mean, they may use some of the jobs, but definitely not all of them. The last time I played this game, though, I didn't have a Scholar and one of the jobs that the job I'm going to give to Refia, I didn't have them in the same party because I had Scholar and that job on the same person, so it was... I had to pick and choose, basically. Like, what do I need for this area? Do I need more attacks, or do I need more support? And typically the answer was support once you get further along in the game, so Scholar had to take a back seat. This time, I wanted to change that, which is why I have Scholar on a separate person, and then I'll have the support job on somebody else. In this case, again, Refia. So, is Viking any good? Viking is great, actually. It's the primary tank of the game, and its provoke skill allows you to draw the attacks of a single enemy. It also reduces that enemy's defense by a certain percentage. It doesn't have the best hit rate, but the more job levels you get, the higher the hit rate gets. And also, basically, you can then just use that on the strongest enemy in the enemy's pack, and then just draw their attention away from, you know, your heavy artillery, like this guy. So, how we doing? Okay, we've got 52 light arrows. That's plenty. What else? Do I need anything else? No, I've got all my electric stuff on me. The Spark Dagger may even deal 50 damage to the boss, even though it's been outclassed for quite a while. Speaking of the boss, well, here's the Water Crystal right up here, so I'm sure we'll be seeing the boss pretty soon. The Viking, incidentally, is also good in the Pixel Remaster version because they still have the Provoke skill. It's called Draw Attacks in that version, but it's a little bit different because instead of just provoking one enemy, it provokes every enemy on the field, and it still increases its success rate with job level, so. Will it work, though? I mean, she's a pretty good Priestess of Water from what I've seen, so let's find out. There we go. Nice. Did you get it, Arya? Okay, sounds like a plan. So, how do we get the crystal's magic out of your body and into our bodies, exactly? Because it flowed through you, right? That's why we're all walking away, by the way, is because she has the power of the crystal of water in her body right now. Although it's not going to be there for very long. Ow! Okay, what the hell? I don't know if luck is on our side. She still has the power of the blessing of water in her body. Just hang in there, Arya. I gotta take care of this guy. And it's not gonna take very long because I have a Gatling gun. Second verse, same as the first, as it turns out, because the Water Crystal boss is Kraken, just like in Final Fantasy 1. He's weak to lightning, so you already know how this is gonna go. 18 Zeus's Wraths, Thundara, and, well, double damage on the Zeus's Wrath from the Scholar. Yeah, I mean, he's got like 8,000 HP, but I don't think this is gonna take very long. Ow. He can do a Hein special, though, where he, casts a whole bunch of really powerful spells, but, well, let's see if we can get him out of here as quick as we can. Kick his ass, Lunith! Holy cow, 2,700 damage. Alright, well, I'm gonna need to heal a little bit next turn, I think. Might not be doing scholar things in a moment. Is it 8,000 HP or is it 5,700? No, it's probably 8,000 because he didn't drop dead just now, so... Yeah, as it turns out, electric beats water, and it beats it hard. So... Okay, let's hope that Eric gets his turn first. I'm just gonna... am I gonna go for it? Nah, I'll group cast Cure. I gotta be a little careful because he's pretty quick, so... Of course, this isn't really gonna help Refia if she just gets KO'd before Lunith goes, but... You know, I tried. Okay, well, that's also good. Now let's see if we can barrage him to death. Blind? Well, that's not good either. I'll be missing a couple of my barrages now. But that was actually a pretty good turn, all things considered. Didn't do too much damage. And he's dead. Goodbye! I guess I'll heal the blindness later. Quite a bit of gil out of that, and quite a bit of experience too, so now we can all get to the next level, I think. Should be, because I think we only needed like 500 something. We just got to get Ingus that 200-ish experience that he's missing so we can get everybody back to pretty close on levels. And it's not a big deal, and it's going to be less and less of a big deal the further we go, but... Speaking of big deals, Arya, are you going to make it, or... Well, she's stammering on the word thank you, so I think we know how this is going to go. Thanks. But what did it cost? Everything. We'll do the best we can, Arya. Because as they say, do or do not, there is no try. So we will do. Damn, man. I hardly knew ye, and yet you were really good as a guest fifth party member. Man, what is it with this world and earthquakes? Probably because the earth crystal is still a little bit out of whack, huh? Lunith, we gotta go! Ah, the veil has been lifted. So now we can see what the world down below actually looks like. Turns out it doesn't look that different from the floating continent, but I suppose that's to be expected. The floating continent did come from, well, down here, so... She died to death. That's unfortunate. Uh-oh, pink text box. Is the Lamia Queen trying to wake me from sleep? No. That's not the Lamia Queen. This is not Final Fantasy II. Doga, huh? Well, the word he is underneath this person's hat there. Okay. Lame, actually, it should be darker. Yeah, so it's called the World of Darkness, but... I don't know if this is much of a spoiler. It's not the real World of Darkness. It's just the world, actually. It was just dark for a long time, that's all. If you've played Final Fantasy XIV, you'll know what the real World of Darkness looks like, and that was not it. How'd we get here? I also really like the music in this place, because after, like, the ghost sounds of the unseen world and then the smooth jazz of Arya's theme, you get to this town, and it's just a very soothing track, you know? So. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Thanks, Gramps. Wow. I guess that Kraken fight took a lot out of us, huh? It could have also just been the cave collapsing on our heads and, you know, knocking us out. Like Dark Worlds, as you may have guessed from the profile name. Yeah, fair enough. Well, we'll see a Dark World by the time this game is over. Don't you worry. So... Alright, well anyway, we got some new jobs, so let's take a look at them, shall we? Lunith actually is not going to switch jobs, so let's start with... Actually, the only person who I'm going to be making a switch right now is Refia. So let's start with... Oh, Angus got 1 point for his level 2 magic. Nice. That won't really help me with miniing and toting myself, but eventually it will. So, yeah, Refia is the only one who's going to make a change, but let's take a look at the changes that can be made. So, everything up to here is stuff we've had before, but Dragoon is new. So this is the first time the Dragoon class is available in a Final Fantasy game. You could equip lances in Final Fantasy II, and Ricard was a Dragoon, but it was not a class that you could pass from person to person. Here it is, so it's focused on lances and heavy armor, and it has the jump command, which is okay. It lets you jump into the air at one turn and then come down the next turn, so you can dodge attacks with it that would happen on that turn, which can be nice in certain situations. Usually it's not necessarily the best thing to do in a situation, but it's okay, you know. So we already talked a little bit about Viking. Refia is not going to be the Viking in this particular case, but Viking is the premier defensive job of the game. They can provoke enemies and draw their attacks to them. They can equip the heaviest armor in the game. Usually when you see somebody using a Viking, they use 2 shields, and actually that's why I saved the Mithril shield, because then I can equip that and the Ice Shield and still have massive defense, because as it turns out, the shield that's available in Amur is not equipable by the Viking, so we needed a second shield. And, well, it's not going to be quite so simple to get back to the floating continent, as you'll see in just a moment. So there's the Evoker. I think I talked a little bit about this one a few minutes ago. Well, probably more like an hour ago now. It's the first time you have access to summon magic in the series, so we don't have any summon spells yet, though, so switching to Evoker right now is pretty much just gimping yourself. And even when you get access to summon magic, Evoker's not great because it has 2 effects that can happen from each summon. Those effects are random, which one happens. You can't pick, it just happens at random. Usually one of them is a support spell and one of them is an attacking spell, except for the Titan Summon. The Titan Summon is consistently... there's 2 damaging spells that happen. I think it's just 2 physical attacks, basically, So Titan's not bad for Evoker. The rest are not really great. Mostly situational, although some of the support effects are really powerful. Healing Light from Ifrit is just as strong as Curaga, if I remember correctly, but you can't choose them, which makes Evoker a little bit of a gamble to use. Then there's Dark Knight. So Dark Knight has the Soul Eater ability, which hits all enemies for a large amount of damage in exchange for some of its HP values. I think it takes a percentage of your current HP to do it, or is it max HP? I don't remember. It's another heavy armor job similar to Dragoon, only this one can equip katanas, but we don't have access to any katanas yet, so again, it's kind of like Evoker. We don't have access to the stuff that makes this job unique, so not really worth switching yet. Then there's Bard. Now, Bard is a kind of bizarre class. It's one of those classes where it's like, okay, is this a joke, right? Is this really going to do much of anything? But actually, its party-wide buffs are really strong. It's only got access to one of them from the shop in this area. Basically, each harp that it can equip, so they can equip harps as a weapon, each harp gives them access to a different song. The song that you can play from the harp in this town gives you the Protect status on your whole party, which, again, increases defense and magic defense by a certain percentage, depending on the bard's job level in this case. It's not a flat amount, but yes, they only have access to a Protect song for right now. But they have access to mage equipment, so they're usually pretty good on the magic defense, and their harps get really powerful in terms of the song effects that they have. They can heal the party, they can damage enemies with it, and then there's a couple of other ones that just flat out reduce the damage you take separate from a Protect spell. And there's one that, what's the last one? Increases the party's attack power? That doesn't sound right. There's one that I'm forgetting and I don't remember what it is, but usually the ones that I use are the ones that cast Protect, the one that heals the party, and the one that reduces damage. Sometimes the one that attacks does damage to the enemy party can be pretty good too, but it's a really it's just fully focused on support, but considering the fact that Ranger is so exceedingly powerful and can do so much damage to the enemy parties, I'm not really worried about making 1 or even 2 of my party members just full-on support. Case in point, Refia is going to go from Black Mage to Bard right now. So there goes our Black Mage, but that's okay. We've got Scholar if we need Black Magic, so... So yeah, Refia is going to be our bard for a little while, for most of the rest of the game, honestly. Because it's quite good, as it turns out. We don't have great equipment for her for right now, so she's going to be a little frail, but she was already a little frail as a black mage, so that's not really a problem. It's just, you know, the way things go. They've got pretty decent stats, too. Agility and, well, strength and agility are a little bit lower, but strength is very low. Agility is middling, and then vitality, intellect, and mind are not bad, all things considered. Vitality, intellect, and mind should level evenly for the rest of the game for the bard, so there you go. Eric is going to get a different job. I'm actually going to make him a Viking in a little while, but I still want Thief because there's some good stuff to steal pretty soon, and also there's a bunch of locked doors in the next area, so I might as well leave him there while Thief is going to get a bit of a last hurrah from the equipment shop, and then once I've done that, then we'll switch him over to Viking full-time. So, you're probably the innkeeper over there, so let's see what you've got access to. Plucking their harp, starting magic fires with fire beats. Something like that, yeah. Just cast Firaga from my harp. Wait, this was the game with job switch sickness, wasn't it? Yes, it was. And as I mentioned to Chris before, you could spend the entire game in job sickness if you really wanted to. I don't for this particular case, but it would probably make for an interesting challenge run. So, anything to sell? Yeah, the blood sword. I'm not going to use it, so we'll just get rid of it. Keep those bomb arms, though. We've got 6 of them, and that's not bad at all. I'll hold on to the stabs as well, just in case I want to switch Angus to white mage, so we don't have access to any other stabs for right now. So there you go. We'll just hold on to that instead. Yeah, ew! Why would you ever do that? I know. Excuse me. Alright, well, let's check out what's in town. Oh, what the hell? Who's this Goldor guy, and what gives him the right to take the keys to my airship? Yeah, so this is why it's going to be complicated to get back to the floating continent, because this guy Goldor locked our airship to the ground, and we can't just fly away with it until we get it unlocked. So, hang on, let me go back to what he said. Oh, really? Huh. Oh. Yeah, you know, fair play, I guess, but apparently this Goldor guy also has the Earth Crystal, so we're gonna have to do something about that. Oh, the pub and another piano. What is this guy, a dragon? Nah, that would be silly. Well, honestly, you probably have. I don't know exactly how that works when time stops, but, you know. Could also just get ripped with arm strength and have it not matter much. Yeah, that's true too, honestly. So there's a way to get around it, but you could limit how much arm strength you get as well. Like, if I never trained arm strength again for the rest of the game, it would probably still be pretty challenging. Like, it's just not challenging right now because I've trained arm strength, so, you know. So that's who we gotta kill? Can't we just cast Melt on the chain? Nah, because plot. Yeah, well, you know, this game came out in 1990. We can't just cast a melting spell on the chain, unfortunately. Although I don't remember, isn't Gold's melting point, like, really exceedingly high? Hang on, let me check that. I think I'm remembering my chemistry correctly. Gold melting point. 1064 degrees Celsius, so not exceedingly high. There are certain salts that are higher than that, but, well, still pretty damn high. So, gold is soft as crap. Yeah, I mean, it's a little brittle. It can be, anyway. Huh. I think he just has really high magic defense, actually. So, you know, Refia, you're a bard now. Can you play the piano, or is it just Luneth that's going to play it again? What does it sound like if a bard plays the piano? If you would have told me I was going to get Pokemon XD vibes from this, I would not have believed you, but apparently Refia is 88 Fingers Edward now. So that's hilarious. Amazing. Yeah, anybody, so to break the illusion a little bit there, it doesn't matter who you have in the lead when you play that piano, you always get the same effect there. but like I was gonna switch her to Bard anyway, so I figured I might as well do that just because it would make more sense. So yeah, I heard the wild Pokemon battle theme from that in there just a little bit. So amazing. Animation peaked in the 90s, clearly. Yeah, something like that. So just for a second at the end we heard it. Yep, exactly. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we can go to the marshlands and just, you know, tell him to give me the crystal and my airship back. Oh, that must be a life spring then. Okay. But before we go there, let's explore around Amur, because we might as well. There's some decent treasure to find around here, including some items that I would otherwise have to buy at the shop and won't have to now. Is there anything back here? No, I would have ran into it, actually, now that I think about it. I think all the hidden treasures are, like, you have to go into the canal in order to get there, so... Oh, okay, huh. Why would I want to go to the sewers, though? I just want to go to the marshlands instead. Who puts their gold manor in the marshlands, anyway? Wouldn't it just, like, sink? I do want to buy a couple of things here, though, actually. So, we can get a Mengosh here for Eric if we want to. It's not... I don't think it gives the evasion bonus that it did in Final Fantasy II, though. They probably thought that was too strong, so they didn't put it here, so... I guess you can buy a Thunder Spear from here if you want to. The main draws, I think, are the Celine Bow, the Boomerang, and the Madura Harp, because the Madura Harp is the first harp that you gain access to for Bard, so let's grab that. I haven't used any of those yet. I can use a Boomerang on Eric, so that wouldn't be too bad, but you get another bow, and this one has 63 attack. I'll take it, thank you very much. And, yeah, let's just grab one one Boomerang or two? I'll just grab one for now. I need to save a little bit of money so that I can, whatchamacallit, buy some armor in a little while, so... yeah, let's equip that Celine Bow. Let's just equip the Iron Arrows, and we've got 75 attack at this point, so... Anyone have a favorite snack they'd like to share with the class looking for new things? I mean, popcorn is my weakness, but I don't think that's what you're looking for. I think you're looking for, like, a brand. And I eat pretty standard brand stuff, like... If I had to think about chocolate, probably Kit Kats are my weakness when it comes to that, because I could polish off a whole Kit Kat bar in like 2 seconds, honestly. I don't know what it is, maybe it's just the wafers and chocolate, but yeah, no, Kit Kats are good. Like, here we are doing a public service, and... I don't know what that's a reference to, but it sounds funny. What kind of popcorn do you like? So there's this really cool popcorn shop that's about 40 minutes away from my house, so it's a little bit of a drive, unfortunately, but it's a really cool popcorn shop because first of all, they've been in service for like 100 years at this point, like 101 or 102, just every year consistently. They aren't in service like during the winter, they open up seasonally, but every year for like 102 years, so. But they have kettle corn, they have peanut popcorn, they have cashew corn, and they have caramel corn, so, or caramel, depending on how you say it. I almost just said caramel corn because of everything else I just said, but there you go. But yeah, they have a bunch of different kinds of popcorn as well, so that's really nice. It helps out, so making things a little more interesting. Now, I don't think that Refia has really all that much attack, even though the Madura Harp gives her 60 attack. I get the impression that harps don't really do much damage, honestly, so... And we got a Boomerang for Eric. He's probably not going to use it for too much, but, you know, might as well grab it, so... Favorite snack, dark chocolate, English toffee, or honestly just toffee. I've never gotten a taste for toffee now that I think about it. I think I've had it, but I've never really, like... Maybe I just haven't had good toffee, because I don't remember ever really enjoying it, so... anything here to find? There's just this house with nothing in it. Maybe this Moogle knows how to get inside. I think there's a couple of new letters we can get from Mognat, but I think one of them is from Princess Sarah and one's from Taka. So I don't think there's anything from Sid. But I guess we can find out. Okay, there is one from Sarah. There might be two, actually, because I only have the one so far. Bored. I'm so bored. Being a princess is not all that it's cracked up to be. I wish I could go on great adventures like you. Take me with you someday, all right? From Sarah. Yeah, well, about that. Also, Sasune of late. Everyone in the castle has gone back to their daily routine after the Djinn was banished. It's as if it never happened. I would like to thank you again for helping us. Have a safe journey. From Sarah. Probably sent those not too long after one another. Yeah, I guess I better start saving, because I definitely just spent a whole bunch of gil on not that. And I'm going to continue to spend gil on not that, as it turns out. Zelda, is that you? Something like that, yeah. Kettle corn, spiced candied nuts, and biscuits or cookies. Also very good. Gotta have cookies with milk, too, though. I don't mind having cookies without milk, but cookies with milk are just like... There's just something about that combination that just my brain gets all tingly. Maybe it's the nostalgia, or maybe I'm allergic to something in the cookies. Usually your brain doesn't get tingly unless you're allergic to something. I don't know. Anyway, Taka. Hey, I got this order from Mithril Gear recently, so I went into the mines to get some ore. I must be getting old. I wasn't able to carry back half the Mithril I used to. From Taka. Yeah, so that's it for that. Eventually, they will give you something else to do, though, Sarah and Taka specifically. They have a quest that's sort of intertwined, but we won't be able to access that for a little while yet, so... Do I want to check what's in the armor shop? I don't think there's anything particularly incredible. Well, there is for Lunith, but we'll get there. There's also some good stuff for Vikings, Viking helm and Viking mail, but obviously Eric can't equip that just yet. The heroic shield is only equipable, I think, by freelancers and knights, which I guess makes freelancers pretty good, but yeah. There's thief gloves, black garb, and black cowl. As it turns out, the black garb is actually the best piece of equipment in the game for rangers, which might be a little problematic for the end game, considering we've still got quite a ways to go. The earth crystal takes a little longer than the other crystals to get, as it turns out. But yeah, black garb, black cowl. So I'll probably buy one of each, actually. I won't buy the thief gloves, though, because there's actually a free black cowl, black garb, and thief gloves that you can pick up in Amur itself. And by the time I actually need to get the Viking helm and Viking mail, well, we'll have more money, so. Chocolate, digestives, and milk. Yes. Yeah, it's just such a good combination, honestly. Alright, well, we won't have our resistances, our elemental resistances that we had with the ice helm and the flame mail now, but that's okay. We should be fine. And then we'll see how much money we have left over once I sell all the access equipment after I equip all the new stuff, because we might be able to buy a second boomerang for Eric. Maybe. We'll see. Oh. Well, that's interesting. Just so happens that that legend might be a little bit true. Hi guys, can I help you? Oh. Okay. Yeah. Peanut Gallery. Oh, okay. I guess they... Inconceivable! I guess they've got nothing better to do than pretend to be the Warriors of Light, I guess. How do I get over there? Have I been over there? Is that where I woke up? Oh no, I was over here. I think I went in this building, I think. Yeah, this is the life spring, okay. I was like, wait a minute, hang on. Did a squad of mustached men just dab at us? Yes. Yes, they did. And this was before the dab was even like a common thing that people just did randomly. But apparently it's been around for a while. Okay, so there's the sewers right there. Because of course, any old RPG has to have a sewer dungeon, but yeah, the gate is closed up here to the sewers, so... We can't get in without the key, and as it turns out, even a thief can't unlock that door, as you'll see in a second when I move Eric into the front of the party. Hang on. Excuse me, sir. Thank you. Oops. Yeah, so even a thief can't unlock that one, unfortunately. It's a pretty good lock. I did, in fact, look at the tavern, and it told me everything I need to know about Goldor, mostly that he's an asshole. Alright, let's see what's in this house, and then we'll go look around a little more. I think if I remember right, the hidden items are only available once you get the key from Old Man Gil, which I think this is Old Man Gil, actually, now that I think about it, but I guess we'll find out in a second, won't we? Just searching his house for any valuables before I talk to him. Hi there, old man. Oh, I don't know if I talked to the right person in town about this, but basically, if you try to go down to the marshlands by Goldor Manor, to the south there, and you try to cross the bog, it's called the Bottomless Bog, and the Bottomless Bog, if you walk over it, you get a game over, and you have to start from the last save point. So, as it turns out, the way to solve that is to find Leathergrass shoes, which apparently there's somebody in the sewers that have Leathergrass shoes, so... Well, yeah, it's a sewer. I mean, what else is it going to do but smell bad? And also, I don't think any of us have noses now that I think about it, so I think it should be fine. Oh, here they go again. Think we need more cheeky stuff like the Bottomless Bog? That sort of stuff happens in Dark Souls all the time, though. So... guys, this is going a little bit beyond role-playing. You're actively putting yourselves in danger now. Anyway. Pumumke. Is that like Badum Tish, only slightly different drum? Thanks, old man. We will mind the stench. Don't worry. Whoops. There we go. Somebody's greens patch. Turns out there's quite a few greens in the greens patch. I'll just grab them just because they sell for a little bit. Why not, right? Might as well. And then I just need to go find the other place that I can get to by using the canal. I don't remember where that is. Maybe it's up here, because I can just walk right up this waterfall, apparently. Fair enough, I guess. I feel like it's probably on this island. Is there a way onto this island? Yes, there is. Okay, good. Okay, here we go. Yes, there's a black garb right there. Oops. Thief gloves. And a black cowl. Perfect. So now I don't even have to buy any equipment for Eric while he's still on Thief. Just do this, and do that, and that. There you go. And that's 62 defense on a Thief, and that is nothing to sneeze at. That's quite a lot of defense for a Thief. Typically, thieves don't get this kind of armor. So, hey, I'll take it. Alright, well, we could go down into the sewers now, but it might be better to save after all the events that have happened, so probably we'll go out to the world map first. After I sell off all of my excess equipment. Cheeky bottomless. Somebody's thinking a little further ahead than I am. Apparently I'm still sleepy from all the work I did this weekend, because that didn't even occur to me. Oh boy. Let's see, anything to sell? Don't want to sell the Mithril Shield or the Gauntlets, because those are still going to be useful for Viking when we switch to it. Definitely sell the Spark Dagger, though. Don't need that anymore. Don't need the Rune Bow anymore. Selene Bow's just better. Don't need the... Hang on. No, don't need the Flame Mail, because I have Black Garb. Don't need either of the Ice Helms. Black Garb. Get rid of those. Don't need Ice Armor. Don't need Mithril Gloves. Okay, and we got a little bit of extra cash to throw around now, so that's not bad. I'm going to go get a second boomerang. I don't need the Viking Helm and Viking Mail for right now, so we'll just go get a second boomerang for Eric. It'll reduce his defense a little bit, but the next boss is more vulnerable to physical attacks anyway, and while I was training Luneth's, sword arm, bow arm, whatever you want to call it, I was also, I took all of Eric's weapons out of his hands and just made him slap the enemy silly with his bare fists. So he's actually probably got a little bit of arm strength in both arms now. So he should be able to use these boomerangs to pretty good effect. Obviously, because they're boomerangs, you can throw them from the back row and get full damage out of the both of them, so that's nice. You are sleepy? Thieves and cheaters never prosper, Final Fantasy III. Oh, how we beg to differ, apparently. Yeah, I can understand the sleepy part, though. I'm starting to feel it myself, and it's almost time for us to be done anyway, so... I might be able to get through the sewers, though, before we do anything. But yeah, as you can see, there's a big fat chain around our ship, so we can't do much of anything with it for right now. But let's save before we go into the sewers, so that way, you know, I've got to save from, you know, not a million years ago. Feels like it, anyway. Alright, so Refia's got 6 battles to get through before she is a fully fledged bard, but that's okay. And we have the Madura harp. We bought everything we needed to. Other than the Viking helm and Viking mail, which we'll get in a little bit once I've stolen some items and gone from there. And I can always switch back to Thief later on when I actually need to use it, so I'm not really super concerned about that, you know. Your bed is covered in computer bits because you're bad at planning computer. Holy typo. I knew what you meant, honestly. I think there is a secret passage in the sewers now that I think about it, but I forget where it is exactly. I also forget what these enemies are weak to. And I could have Ingus look it up for me using his study skill, or I could just go to the FAQ, which I probably should have up on my phone just in the background in case I forget something. But, it's bracket 25. The FAQ that I'm using is the Separaga FAQ for the DS version on GameFAQs, in case anybody wants to use the same one. So. Oh good, more enemies weak to lightning in the stinky sewers. That's goofy. Well, fair enough. Anyway, so I guess we can re-equip the light arrows. Yeah, we've got 47, and these enemies aren't actually weak to lightning, so I don't think I'm going to bother. Twin Ligers. Alright, and yeah, so as you can see, Refia lost her ability to use magic, but that's okay because she can sing! And, you know, if I need magic damage, I can just have Ingus do it, so... The nice thing about Sing is that it has increased priority, so it should pretty much always go first in battle. Unless you have another move that also has increased priority, in which case that will probably go first instead. But yeah, with the armor, and with us being in the back row, and with Protect on everybody, we're taking 0 damage from these guys. That's pretty nice. And Lunith can KO both of them in one barrage. Hey, I'll take it. That was over 1,000 damage to every enemy. Why is Ranger so good again? Why does nobody use this job again? Have I discovered some hidden tech? I didn't think it was that secret. I saw the reason why I tried out Ranger the last time I played this game and found out how busted atrociously powerful it is because I saw a comment on GameFAQs that somebody made about how Ranger was a garbage job, and I was like, okay, well, let's challenge that opinion. I'm going to use it as my primary melee DPS for the next playthrough. And then I used it and I was like, oh, this person doesn't even know. That's pretty good damage, Eric. That's like 17 hits, 850 damage. That's not bad at all. A little better than Ingus is doing at the moment because his damage is already falling off with the books, but that's because he didn't have much of that to begin with, so that's okay though. I think there's like maybe one secret passage in the sewers. I forget. I guess we'll find out. How do you score 17 hits throwing a boomerang? Is it a magic one? How does it hit more than once? It just whacks them upside the head multiple times like the Shungoku Satsu or something. Just right in his face. Like it just spins in midair right in front of him. So yeah, I guess it would have to be a magic one then, wouldn't it? Seem to make an exceptional contrarian a lot of the time. Yeah, I just like doing silly stuff that a lot of people are like, oh, okay, you can't do this because it's bad. And I'm like, okay, sure, challenge accepted. Why not? I've played this game already before. I've used a bog standard team of, what did I use the very first time I beat this game? I used Viking, Ninja, Devout, which is the upgraded White Mage, and Summoner. Those were the 4 jobs that I used, so. And it was pretty bog standard. We will use one of the bog standard jobs, which is Viking, but, yeah, it's okay. I mean, it might have been what got your interest with me. Do the same thing. Fair enough. Honestly, I just think it's more fun sometimes to just do silly, goofy strats, because, like, why be so serious about it, you know what I mean? It's a game I've already played for the most part. Sometimes I do this goofy stuff with games I haven't played before, though, and I feel like sometimes with people that's like, okay, what are you doing, you know? So, I'm going to equip the fire arrows here, because that dark legs in the middle, excuse me, is actually weak to fire. The toads, however, are weak to lightning, so yeah, won't really get too much damage out of fire arrows from that, but should probably still kill them. I don't think they're resistant to fire. Literally, I'm gonna use it and see if it's as bad as people say, and then 9 times out of 10 it's not, so. Alright, that's a 1-tap for the dark legs. Okay, you know what? Okay. I guess that's how that's gonna go. I'm just gonna leave the fire arrows on, forget it. What are you doing? Winning, apparently. That synergy restriction that you were doing in Golden Sun needs refinements, but it's cool. You know, and actually, I kind of like the way that I did things in Golden Sun looking back, where I had, oh, cat claws, okay. Well, I guess thieves are just eating today, aren't they? Holy cow. Oh, okay, they can't equip cat claws. Who can equip cat claws, then? Oh, no, it's probably a monk weapon, never mind. I'm thinking of it as like a knife, like in Final Fantasy II, but no, it's a claw. So, yeah, monks can equip it. I guess Ingus has something to do in the next battle, because he can throw Ruffy a potion. But yeah, I really like the way that I did the classes in Golden Sun when I played it, where I ended up actually being able to use summons, which I wasn't really expecting to be able to, because summons usually, like, I wouldn't have been able to use the high-end summons anyway, because, like, it's hard to do that when you've got mixed classes like I did, where I had, like, 2 different types of genie on my characters, but, yeah. Worked out, because I just left Isaac as a straight-up, like, Earth caster. Venus caster? Yeah, Venus caster, so. I've been trying to figure out, like, what I'm going to do with the classes when I play the Lost Age. I think I'd probably mix it up a little bit more than I did in the original Golden Sun, so. Because if I remember correctly, those genie transfer when you put in the transfer code in the Lost Age, so. I guess we'll figure that out a little later, you know, so. You could use a potion, but in battle, so we'll do it in battle. You know what, actually, I'm just going to use Cure. It'll probably heal you all the way up, yeah, anyway, so. Okay. Thieves eating, next you'll tell me the rich are generous. Yeah, I know, we're literally playing Contrarian, the video game, right now. Oh boy, you're going to have fun trying to juggle jobs and summons in the second game. You'll see why, okay. I will see why, soon enough. I feel like there's a hidden passage here somewhere, but it could be on the next level. And again, I could just, you know, I could just come back here at some point and figure that part out later, but... hello? Oh, great. This is what I said, you guys were gonna get yourselves in trouble if you came down here. Let's get in there then, team. This battle is unique because it's the only battle in the entire game where you'll have more than 3 enemies on the screen at one time. As far as I'm aware, anyway. Actually, I think eventually when you get to enemies that can divide amongst themselves, you can actually have more than 3, but you won't ever see 3 at the beginning of a fight, I guess, is how we should say it, you know. So. But that being said, 1 barrage hit on each enemy should be enough to take them out, so. Also, in the NES version, if I remember correctly, these were just regular goblins, which made those guys even more sucky than they already are. Like, at least they're taking on enemies that are difficult, you know? Well, difficult is relative when we have a ranger, but, you know. We're also getting, like, 1,000 experience from that fight, so 250 per Gigantoad. That's not bad. What even gave you that idea? At least it's settled now. Yeah, it might be worth it to do that. And so they will leave eventually, but... Okay, fair enough. I don't think you want the ambience in this place, though. You trained on boards and you thought that would be enough to come down here? God. No problem. Oh, yeah, I'm still poisoned. I was like, what's with the zap? What happened? Let's see. I guess I can use this potion here. Ingus could use a potion in the next fight, so... Yeah, difficult 1558. Something like that. Oh, good. Refi is out of her job adjustment. That's nice. So now this is what her stats look like. Pretty nice, actually. Agility and vitality, pretty good. Intellect and mind, pretty good. Really, honestly, the main thing that she wants to have is vitality and mind. And as it turns out, her equipment will help with that. It won't make her really, really beefy, but it will make her beefier than typical mages, like how Ingus is now. So, but that's okay. We'll make it work. Maybe it's this part. Yeah, this is the part where it's not really a secret. It's just like an out-of-the-way door that you may not have seen. There's another diamond bell, or a diamond bell, and a hammer, which is an axe/hammer that the Viking can equip because they can equip axes and hammers. I won't be using axes and hammers on Viking because it's a little bit more, well, meta, I guess, to have them equip 2 shields and just spam provoke, but we'll get there. There's Kaiser Knuckles as well. So I guess if you had a monk, they'd be eating pretty good as well, because they're getting good equipment. Power bracers, the chakra band, and black belt gi from the shop. Oh good, the ropers turned neon colors since the last time I was here. Love that for me. Wonder if these guys have anything fancy to steal. Guess we'll find out, won't we? Job adjustment feels like a euphemism somehow. Couldn't tell you what, though. Yeah, I'd have to think about that one for a little while. You know, probably if the regular ropers had bomb arms, either these ones also have bomb arms, or maybe they have, like, Arctic winds or something. It's okay, they're still weak to lightning, so goodbye. I'm gonna have to go get more light arrows after this, though. We might run out by the time we're done with everything. Although, probably won't have too much of a problem, because after this, I don't think any of the enemies on the world map or in Goldor's Manor are weak to lightning, so I think we should be okay. I will unequip them for this, though. And that's the nice thing, is that we can just literally go right to the equipment menu and then equip something else. So, pretty good. You don't need to actually steal anything. You just sing for a living now. And there we go. The other nice part, though, about Sing having increased priority is it means that Refia's job level will consistently be going up no matter what. Holy hell, Ark, that was damage. Man. Doesn't want Luna to take all the glory, apparently. But yeah, so Refia's job level will consistently be higher. And that's a good thing because all of her songs, at every 11 job levels, they increase their effectiveness by 1%. So, like, right now she gives 20% protection with Min when she sings it. It'll go up to 21% at job level 11. So, not bad. Games like this always make you think of putting on multiple accessories at once, like a mild case of megalomania. Yeah, and I mean, in some cases, in certain games, you can get away with just equipping multiple accessories because they give you multiple accessory slots, but not always, though. Ingus, you didn't gain a level, did you? I'm gonna wait to cast Cure until you gain a level. Let's just study these guys. Why not? Our HP is probably gonna start ramping up pretty good now, though. Maybe not for Ingus because his vitality is so low, but for everybody else, we'll probably get to 1,000 HP in the next, like, well, 6 or 7 levels. Because we gained quite a bit out of the last level. Let's see how much Ingus gained, though. Okay, I mean, that's not bad, considering. He's falling a little bit behind, but that was to be expected. So. There is a way to fix that later, but we'll worry about that when later comes. So. If anything about Etrian Odyssey 3, it was still possible to wear multiple accessories and copies of the same one would stack. Wow. That could be pretty useful then, if some accessories are pretty good, I would imagine. So a meta strat was to make yourself immune to the primary damage type of the boss you wanted to fight with 3 accessories and wear a weapon. Fair enough. Yeah, that seems goofy, but definitely enough to work it, you know. Hello, old lady of the sewers. Can we borrow your shoes? Excuse me. Big fan of those images where someone's wearing an Omnitrix, a dual disc, and an Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah, that would definitely protect you for a little while. Bashi bazooks? God, I haven't heard that word in like 20 years. Well, actually, I haven't heard that word since the last time I played this game, but outside of this game, I have heard the word Bashi bazooks used in real life. My grandma used it. She hasn't used it in a while, though. Okay, thanks. Oh, those were not shoes. Those were a bomb. Thanks for the warning. Because we know Delilah, and she's an asshole. Excuse you, indeed. What is this, the Wizard of Oz? Witch's shoes, really? Yeah, I know. And apparently not. This was so busted that accessories were limited to one slot in future games. There's a meme where someone was wearing every Omnitrix. Oh my god. Well, fair enough, because they were in fact a bomb. We know this because they saved us from 4 frogs. Probably your frogs, actually. What do you mean you don't have much choice if it's them asking? Well, those ones didn't explode, so cool. And we have the leathergrass shoes, so now we can cross the bottomless bog without dying. That's nice. Don't mention it. It was very easy to get here when you killed all the monsters in our way. We just followed at a distance. Oh, apparently he can cast teleport. And that's good, because I only have 1 otter shroom. Levitation grass? Levy grass, even? Something like that. That's not how the teleport spell works, but okay, cool. I guess we're here now. We have a little more money, so let's, do I want to go buy the Viking Helm and Viking Mail now? No, honestly, not really, because we're still going to use Eric for a little while, because the enemies in the area can have some items that I want to steal, so... Let me take a look at the FAQ, actually, because it'll tell me which enemies in the area have things that I can steal. Let's see here. Okay, actually, so the main place that I want to go, in terms of, like, getting DPS, is the forests near Amur, because the most common encounter around in the forests near Amur have black flans, which you can steal bomb arms from, but also another encounter you can get in the forest is magicians, which you can steal heavenly wraths from. There's also one small area south of Amur village where you can encounter enemies that you're not supposed to be able to encounter just yet, that are on the Dalg continent, where whatchamacallit, this Doga guy is. And the frost flies in that area you can steal Arctic winds from. So I'll demonstrate a battle. We'll see if we can find some black flans real quick so I can show you, okay, here's what we'll be stealing. And then probably what I'll do is just off screen, I'll just steal a whole bunch of stuff from them, like a whole bunch of bomb arms and heavenly rats. Just so that way we don't have to do it on screen. It'll be a little easier. Voice of the comedy. Well, time to go to bed. Voice of the tragedy. Only to wake up still sad tomorrow. Oh, that's not cool. Hope you don't wake up sad. Or at the very least, if you do wake up sad, I hope I make the day a little bit better for you. I understand, though, there's things outside of my control, obviously, in terms of people being sad, but I hope like I said, I hope I'd at least make the day a little better for you. I try to make the day a little better for everybody, if possible. And if this stuff helps make it better for somebody, then, you know, I've done my job. Strange and mysterious grass. Or shoes, in this case. Here's the magician, by the way, that can have heavenly wraths to steal. Oh, you have to do paperwork? I know that feeling. God. Yeah, there's the heavenly wrath. That casts Thundaga when you use it in battle. And, well, considering the fact that we did 3,000 damage with no elemental weakness when we used the, whatchamacallit? The bomb arm not too long ago, you can imagine that heavenly wrath will do similar damage, so... This guy's not weak to anything except for dying, as it turns out, because Lunith can just knock him flat on his ass. Oh, I forgot to mention that. So, the harps. The way that harps work in this game is that the status effect that Refia gives us from her harps, they last 2 turns. So her protect will fall off not this turn, but next turn. So basically, you can sing a rotation of 2 harps, depending on which battle you're in. We only have one harp for now, but eventually we will get a second and third and fourth one. So there you go. Freaking 5 years worth of taxes? What? Yeah, that's a lot of paperwork then. Yeah, as it turns out. I don't envy you that. I hope that goes smoothly for you, but holy hell. But yeah, so there's one of the things that we can get from them is the Heavenly Wrath there. So I'll go steal a bunch of those, and then here's a Black Flan and another crocodile pug thing. Dracrocata. I don't think that one's weak to anything in particular, is it? That's weak to ice. I guess I could stick the ice arrows on while I'm here. None of those will help me that much. But yeah, the Black Flans have bomb arms to steal, so that's what we're gonna do. I'll just cast Cure. Why not? Oh, not yours, but 5 years worth of taxes. Okay, gotcha. Nearly had a heart attack. A little bit of accounting to do, huh? Some people make mistakes, and you're gonna make some money helping them clean up. You know, fair enough, honestly. Get a little bit of cash that way. Never hurts, right? But yeah, it's going to take a little bit of doing to run around in these areas because, as it turns out, even with Protect on everybody, we're still a little frail. We will get less frail on certain party members. We're a little frail. We'll get less frail later, but we have to actually get that far first. So let's just throw another potion Raphia's way. So probably what I'll do is I'll steal a few things, and then after I steal a few things, I'll just go back to town and sleep up. Can't be that much worse than retail. Honestly, retail in I've worked retail and have it. Ooh, that's a rare drop, turtle shell. So that casts Protect on whoever you use it on, and it's a pretty good Protect too because it's independent of job level, so it's maxed out already on its protective effects. But yeah, probably what I'll do is I'll just work my way around this just a little bit. I'll see if I can find the area where those frost flies show up, because having access to the Arctic winds would also be nice. And then once I have like a stack of, I don't know, maybe a dozen of them or something like that, that would be good. Probably for quite a while, actually. So maybe I won't bother getting a stack of them, but I'll steal a few of each if I can. And then probably we'll sell the bomb fragments, because we'll have enough bomb arms by the time I'm done to just not need bomb fragments anymore. Or maybe I'll just keep them so I can just use them for damage later. And yeah, once I do that, I'll rest up as needed, and we'll return for another episode of Final Fantasy III, the Stream Edition, tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which actually, now that I think about it, I may not get too much stealing and stuff done because I have to play again, well, tomorrow. So if I don't get it done this time, maybe we'll just stick with what we have, and then, you know, I'll see how much time I have. I won't have much time tomorrow because I'm going golfing, but I'll see how much time I have, I'll steal what I can, and then if I don't steal the stuff now, by the time we're done in Goldor Manor, we'll have access to some better armor and stuff, and then, yeah, we'll just go wandering around the world after that once I finally get my airship back, which, as I said, will be on the next episode of Final Fantasy III, the Stream Edition, which will be tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate you checking out the stream, and I'll see all of you on the next one, which, as I said, a couple of times now will be tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Until then, everybody, take care, and have a good one. People just not doing their taxes. You know, honestly, I'm not an accountant. I have done accounting for people before. You'd be surprised, Marie. You'd be surprised at how many people just, oh, taxes? I don't remember the last time I did that.